Hello and welcome to the Football Social with Sky Bet. Big game. Big watch-along, of course,
Massive
for Arsenal
game.
against Manchester City.
Yes. Very
animated lineup on the Football Social. As always, let's meet the guests. No guesses for who they are supporting. We've got big Man City fan from Football Daily, James Wayne, and of course, Dave Jackson wearing his beloved Arsenal shirt. Boys, you are friends, but you are enemies today. How are you feeling about the game?
I'm feeling quite confident.
Are you?
Adam Smith. Yes, mate. I actually do fancy us, especially after that win on Monday night. It's going to be a big one, mate.
Wayno?
I think he's lying.
How are you feeling? I'm a City fan.
I'm excited to see Foden start. That's always a massive positive. I think, strong.
Haven't done the team news yet, Wayno.
Oh, sorry. Well, look forward to that.
We'll give you the team news imminently. Very excited to say, making his debut on the show, former England international, FA Cup winner, Premier League winner. It is only Sean Wright Phillips. Sean, great to have you on the show. How excited are you for this game?
Very excited. Looking forward to it, to be honest with you.
What have you made of Man City this season? Because last season they were blowing teams away for fun. It's been different this season, haven't they? They've had injuries and other issues to worry about, and it's not been the same Man City we saw last season.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. But at the same time, in the games that they've played, they've had the chances to win pretty much all of the games. And last year, where they would have taken them, this year they haven't, and the other teams have taken their chances, which then put us on the back foot. And obviously, we have to press them and more than likely to give up another chance in going at them. So it's been a difficult season, but it's a long way to go. Season's not over yet, is it?
Not even Christmas yet. Long way to go in the season. And of course, we are joined in Social Corner by Will Brazier. Will, great to have you on the show as well. Just remind the viewers at home how they can get involved, because they are a big part of our show, as you know.
Yes, so much to talk about. How's Ralph wrecked it for Southampton? What's going so rank for Frank at Chelsea? Rob Holding. Dave Jackson wants him to be Arsenal captain. Discuss and get your questions in for Sean Wright Phillips at Football Daily, at Soccer AM, using the hashtag TFF.
I'll tell you what, well done.
Thank you.
Of course, there were some big games yesterday. Let's have a look at the results in the Premier League from all of yesterday's game. Big win for Liverpool. 2 goals from Mohamed Salah. Just continuing on from what has been a fantastic season so far. Liverpool 2, Watford 0. They are, of course, top of the table still. Disappointing day for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They lose at home to Bournemouth thanks to a Dan Gosling goal after 84 minutes. Another good day for Sheffield United. Chris Wilder can do no wrong as gaffer of Sheffield United. They beat Aston Villa 2-0.
Get in there.
With both of the goals. Will Brazier with his Birmingham City hat on, very happy indeed. Leicester City 1, Norwich 1. Tim Krul own goal and a Timu Pukki strike. Burnley only goal in that game against Aston Villa, so all 3 points for Burnley thanks to Chris Wood after the 58th minute, and it was Southampton 0, West Ham 1, Sebastian Haller. So big win for West Ham, and of course there are a few games to bring you today, Dave Jackson. These are the scenes at Molineux. Big victory for Tottenham Hotspur.
Well done,
Lucas Moore after 8 minutes, then there was an equalising goal. Great goal, it has to be said, from Traore. But Jan Vertonghen in the 91st minute with a header. The rain was pouring down, but it doesn't stop the celebrations. Look at what it means to Jose Mourinho, to his staff, the fans and the players. Big win for Tottenham, who've really turned it around since Jose Mourinho has been in charge. So we will talk about that in depth, no doubt, during the show. And another game that finished right before we came on air was Man United 1, Everton 1. Another solid result for big Duncan Ferguson. Own goal by Lindelof, cancelled out. Another goal from Mason Greenwood, who's had a great week. Of course, 2 goals midweek in the Europa League. So the points were shared in that one. Man United 1, Everton 1. And this is what it means to the Premier League table. It does not make for good reading if you're a Watford fan. Just 9 points after 17 games played. And look at that goal difference, minus 23. Norwich and Southampton occupy the bottom 3. Aston Villa just outside the relegation zone. Will Brazier.
Yep, nearly there. They're flirting with it.
OK, Newcastle in 11. Let's have a look at the top. And what reading it makes for your Liverpool fan. 49 points from 17 played. 10-point lead over Leicester. Instantly, Leicester with the superior goal difference. Man City quite simply have to win today. Spurs jump to 5th with that win. And instantly, Tottenham's next game at home to Jose Mourinho's former club Chelsea. And Tottenham can go 4th with victory over Chelsea. So let's talk Mourinho with Sean Wright Phillips. Sean, someone that you know very well. You played under him. What have you made, firstly, of the appointment? Were you surprised?
I was very surprised that Spurs actually sacked Poch to start with, to be honest with you. But you couldn't really replace him with a better person. Mourinho, you've seen what he's done over the years, and obviously at some points what he hasn't done as well. But you can't take away how good of a manager he is. You don't lose things like that overnight, and he's come into the Spurs fold, and he's showing people what he's actually capable of getting players to do.
You played under him. Give us an insight, because we all know a lot about Jose from what we see on the cameras and we see on the touchline in his press conferences. But what's he like to work with?
For me, it was brilliant, like, because I hate running. Like, pre-season is like the worst part of football. When I started, obviously, under Joe Roy, it was always like 45-minute runs. I was always at the back because I just couldn't do long-distance running.
Really?
And obviously, when I signed for Mourinho, it was just all football. So it was like just touching the ball from as soon as we come in pre-season. Everyone, it's a different side. It's like disguised running as such. But there was an incident, like, when I realised he was quite premeditated. We would always prepare for training or the weekend after, and he always had like a plan in place. And we played again.
Yeah.
3-0.
I remember
Changed it at half-time. We draw 3-3. We went to Spurs and then we won 2-1. Right? So, like, in my head, I was like, it's either luck or he just kind of knows
I was at
what
that
he's
game
doing.
at White Hart Lane. I remember it vividly, And he'd always pre-planned for any eventuality.
Yeah, it always seems like he had a strategy for what was going to happen and how he was going to deal with it. Which, as a player, it was good going into as well, because you know what it's like sometimes. If you're not playing, you're like disheartened. But when I was at Spurs, I never... At Chelsea, sorry.
Keep that up.
When I was at Chelsea, it never actually ever seemed that way. We always just seemed together, whether he was playing or not playing, which he seemed to be good at.
Can I ask about his man management as well? Because so many players over the years said they had a real bond with Jose, and then we saw at Man United that it was a different relationship we had. What's he like off the pitch, away from football?
I found him really, really cool. Like, I got on really well with him. Even when I was at QPR, and we obviously played Chelsea at QPR, the first thing he did when he saw me on the bench was come over, say hi, ask me how my little lad's doing, because he used to play football with him when we was training. When I had to do daddy duties, I would like bring the kids into the training ground sometime, and he would like, no, I'll bring them outside. So for me, he was a really nice guy. But then you see like what happened at Man United, and then it's like, for me, it's a clash of egos.
Simple as that.
To be honest, that's what I have to put it down to. Because it's the same team he left. That went on a 10-game winning streak. But everybody said it's Mourinho's fault.
Yeah, interesting. But a big win for Jose and for Tottenham. So we'll discuss more with Sean about Jose. And also, any questions you want for Sean, about his career, get involved. We will speak to him about that at half-time. Let's have a look at the lineup. Dave, I want to get your thoughts on Arsenal, because some interesting selection here. Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles, Chambers, Socrates, Kolasinac, Torreira, Guendouzi, Pepe, Ozil, Martinelli and Aubameyang all start. So your initial reaction when you saw that lineup, mate?
I was a bit worried, but I feel...
Where particularly were you worried?
Probably like the defence. I think it's a big game for Torreira.
We've said that a lot on this show this season.
About the defence, and I feel if you look at the players we've got available, I don't think Luiz has potentially hit the ground running as I hoped he would. But I think there's some two kind of like defensive midfielders in there. They have a massive kind of like job on their hands today, Torreira and Guendouzi, hopefully. And then so the defence is not as strong as it could be, but it kind of is what it is. We've got to hope that our attacking players can do as much damage to City before them doing the opposite way to us. And I think we will be able to create chances today, just whether or not we can take them. So I'm hoping...
Potentially, there were a lot of goals in that team. Quite an attacking lineup there. Let's have a look at what Man City are doing. Edison, Walker, Otamendi, Fernandinho and Mendy. Midfield three of Gundogan, Rodri and Phil Foden starts with De Bruyne, Sterling either side of Jesus. Sean, your initial reactions on that Man City lineup?
As all the lineups, it's a very, very strong team. Obviously, without Fernandinho in the middle, because obviously the defence situation. But he's done outstanding as a centre back, as makeshift to be honest. But Arsenal's a tough challenge, especially like you said, the front three up there can cause a lot of teams problems. So let's just hope it doesn't happen today. But with our attack, we're always going to create chances. So we just got to be ready to take them.
And hopefully goals galore looking at those lineups. So Will, let's go to you in Social Corner. Let's talk about the game. Loads of people joining us recently in recent shows on the stream. What are people saying about this match?
Yeah, we were just talking about the defence there. Sean, I wanted to get your thoughts, and James as well. Pep coming out saying that they're not going to spend in January. Do you think that's the right or wrong thing?
I don't think there is a right or wrong thing. I think right now he believes in the set of players you got, and as a player, that's what you want from your manager, the belief. And like I said, if it wasn't for the chances that we didn't take and a few mistakes that have conceded a goal, we wouldn't actually be having this conversation about do we need to buy a new defender. But it's football and it's a long season to go and it can always change.
What about you, Wayne?
Yeah, I mean, we could always. I don't think, we wouldn't go out and spend if it was a necessity. But we have got good players coming through, like Eric Garcia and Harwood Bellis. So maybe they're not up to the standard of the Premier League yet. But I mean, you've only got a month until Laporte's back, and he's not training fully now, but he's looking good at the moment, and he seems eager to come back. So we only have to wait a month. So it would be, or less than a month. Obviously, the January window ends at the end of the month. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Not that surprised.
What did you make of Pep's comments after the Derby Day defeat when he's saying that we can't compete with the Man United, Liverpool's, Barcelona's? Because obviously net spend since Pep's been there, he's spent more than all of those clubs.
I think that's just.
Do you think that's mind games or?
Nah, I think he's just I don't know, protecting the players a little bit. And he's kind of just distracting the media off the performance itself. If he says something outrageous, then takes the attention away from the actual game itself, in my eyes anyway.
Dave, looking at it as an Arsenal fan, looking at that Man City team, they have got issues at the back.
Yeah.
We know they've conceded goals. Do you look at that team now and think it is a more of a winnable game for Arsenal, for other teams, than it was last season? Because there was times that Man City just turned up last season
I think
just
Arsenal
rolling
have
teams.
a lot of issues. I think 55 minutes into Monday's game, I'm thinking, I don't know how we're next going to score a goal. Never mind getting a win, but we managed to kind of get through that, score 3 quick goals, and for about 10 minutes we looked like the old Arsenal. We looked very, very good. We need to get a manager in soon. Because I think we got a bit fortunate with it's almost like the players stepped up a bit in that last half an hour of the West Ham game, whereas you're kind of looking to I don't necessarily think that was a manager that did that. I think they were definitely playing for Freddie, but I think we need to kind of identify a manager and get a manager in as soon as possible. Really.
Okay, and speaking of Freddie, we can hear from him now. This is what he had to say ahead of the big match against Man City.
What have you made of City just lately? For me, City is just a tremendous team. They play really, really well. They've had problems in their transition, a bit like we've had. People counted on them. You could see a little bit, I think, on their team sheet today that they changed a little bit and they have a bit more power in the back, a bit more speed, so it'll be harder to transition on them. What do you make of their team then? What is Pep Guardiola thinking, do you think? No, of course they come here. They always want to impose themselves on the opponents, and they want to keep possession. But at least with Mendy in the team and Walker on each side, that's a lot of power, a lot of speed. So you can see that they don't want to get counted on.
How is Nicolas Pepe? He's obviously in, but I think it was a bit touch and go.
Yeah, no, he got a horrible tackle at West Ham. We're not happy about that. But so he's been a big touch and go all week. But I'm really, really happy he can start today and show how good he is.
Good luck, Freddie. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're not.
Round of applause, are we? Okay. Just Dave there.
Away winner.
No, we're not. It's just me there.
Yeah, it's just you. Yeah. Let's talk Nicolas Pepe, Dave. Move it on for you because that was awkward for you. First goal in open play.
Yeah.
Wow. Record signing.
Great goal.
It was a great goal. Yeah. 4 goals in all competitions, but first in open play. Touch and go there.
It's a long season.
What have you made of Nicolas Pepe? Do you think this is going to be?
I'll be honest. I was expecting a bit more, and I think that probably comes with the expectation of the price tag that came with him. The thing I have been quite impressed with him is that he hasn't gone missing. You know, even when we haven't been playing well, he's at least trying to take a player on. He's trying to kind of lift it a little bit. And I think that goal would have done him the power of good. And I'm actually happy that he's been able to start after having that little...
touch and go, Freddie said there, but he does start. Sean, I just want to pick up on what Dave said there about the price tag. You made big moves in your career, big money moves at the time. Does that weigh on your mind? Huh?
Just one.
You moved a bit, didn't you? But does the price tag or a move to a new club, do you feel the pressure instantly? Is that... Are we being a bit critical on Pepe, that's saying that he's only scored 1 open play? Do you think that will be weighing on his mind a bit, the amount of money that he has gone for?
No, I think if, as a player, if you're worried about a price tag, then you're not focusing on you playing
the job in
game.
hand. Yeah.
So I don't think that worries him. But the Premier League's a hard league. Like you said, Arsenal hasn't been playing too well, or like Arsenal. So he's coming into a team that isn't playing well and expected to change that by himself in a way. Do you know what I mean? But it's a hard challenge for him, but delighted for him to get the goal. And Hopefully not today.
Do you think
I hope he pushes on after that.
Do you think he's shown signs, though, that he is going to be a top player? He just needs a bit of time to adapt.
Yeah, if you see, like, obviously his history and then the flashes of stuff he's done in the games for Arsenal, you can definitely see he has something there. And from his finish, you can tell he can finish. So hopefully, it just rolls on now, because they say as an attacker, you have, like, purple spots where you just don't score. Like, when I broke for Man City, I played the whole season and couldn't get a goal. I hit the post, keeper saved it, just went wide until I scored my first goal, and then obviously it kind of changed and then the chances happened. So hopefully it's the same thing for him.
Yeah, these are the scenes. Live pictures we give you from the Emirates now. Big game. Will Brazier's very excited. Look at him.
Nervous.
Big game for both teams. Dave, final thoughts going into this?
We have to take our if we've got any chance of getting a positive result, we have to take our chances.
I have to take your chances. Yeah. You think you will get some? They're looking at. I know that you looked at City's defence, and you think that Arsenal will create chances.
I think it's a massive half for Mesut Ozil. He needs to dictate. He needs to get hold of the ball, and if we can get him on the ball in positive areas, not looking backwards, it'd be massive 45 minutes as well for Guendouzi and Torreira. They need to try and do. They need to be at the ball, snapping at Manchester City's midfield.
Yeah, so just a quick reminder of the teams: Arsenal, Leno, Socrates, Ozil, Torreira, Aubameyang, Maitland-Niles, Pepe, Chambers, Guendouzi, Kolasinac, Martinelli. Very attacking team for Arsenal. Man City, Edison in goal, Kyle Walker, Sterling, Gundogan, Jesus Rodrigo, Kevin De Bruyne, Mendy, Fernandinho, Nicolas Otamendi, Phil Foden. That was in order of numbers, not in the positions they're playing, as we all know. But Phil Foden starting, big game for Phil.
Yeah.
James.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, the more minutes for him, the better in my eyes. And I've been saying it all season. People kind of not exactly mock him, but mock the amount of minutes he gets.
Why is he not getting more minutes, though? Because every Man City fan that we speak to or have on the show, big fan of Phil Foden.
Yeah.
He's won an unbelievable amount of trophies for such a young player, but he doesn't start many games. Why is that for you?
Because we're one of these teams, you've got to put the performance of the team, you know, from the manager's perspective, it's about the current team right now. And even though we big him up to this, degree, and he does get his minutes. Like, you look at many 19-year-olds in world football, they're not getting that. At a club this big, it's still a fantastic achievement. Like, even if it's just 20 minutes here, there, like, you don't really see that often. So, I mean, I'm not worried about the minutes. He's just had his 50th appearance for the club, so I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah, not too bad. Are you a fan of Phil? Sean, the way he
plays?
plays?
Very big fan of the way he plays. And he's at the best place to learn from. He's learning from people like Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, how to get in spaces, how to create chances, and how to even score goals. And he seems to be doing really well. He's just got to be patient. They say Silva leaves at the end of the season. There's his chance.
Big opportunity then.
Yeah, so the opportunity gets bigger. So just keep learning, and when he gets his chance, take it, as he has done. Like, he got sent off in a Champions League game before, man of the match. Plays this Champions League game, scores a goal. What more do you want from a 19-year-old?
Yeah, well said. As always on the Football Social, we have got some group bets to give you with our predictions. So this is what the panel have decided. The outcome. Sterling first goal scorer. That is news to me. 25-1. Sean Wright Phillips has gone 3-1. Jesus, that is 25-1. Will's gone for 3-all as he always does. Will not coming once at all. Raheem Sterling to score first, but you can get a mammoth 145-1 on that. Dave Jackson's gone 2-1 Arsenal with Aubameyang to score first, 80-1.
Wow.
James Wayne has gone 2-0 with Raheem Sterling to score. That is 25-1. That are all with Sky Bet. Don't forget, all odds are live and subject to change. Please gamble responsibly. There we go. Will, 3-all again. Can you just, for first-time viewers on the Football Social, just explain this 3-all bet that you seem to be sticking with all season and last season?
Well, as I always say, I'm a big fan of the content, and if it's 3-3, there's content for everyone there, Smith. And if you put a fiver on that, you're going to win some lovely Jaeger bombs for the Christmas party.
Yeah. OK, and please drink responsibly as well as gamble responsibly.
When the fun stuff usually stop as well.
Will, quickly, let's get it over and done with before the game comes on. Birmingham City, we always... A little mention about Birmingham. How did they get on this weekend?
We don't do it when we lose.
Okay,
we played twice
it.
on telly on Sky this week and lost twice. So,
there we go. Dave, this is usually the point of the show where you go from very animated Dave to we don't hear anything from him.
Well, it's still 0-0. So.
You take it, blow the whistle.
Smith, we have my 3-3s on here, but Dave Jackson has never seen Arsenal lose on the Football Social.
Yeah, can we just
22 Arsenal games?
Dave Jackson has never seen Arsenal lose on the Football Social. And James, tell us about
so this season,
your record as well.
Every time I've been here, we've lost. So
does not bode well, does it? Right, kick off his moments away. There we go, players on the pitch. So, Will, let's take some questions from social before we have our first bit of action from the game. Gundogan and Jesus standing over the ball. Let's get some questions in.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about it in the preview there, but Arsenal are still without a manager. Dave Jackson,
yes.
Who would you like to see, but who do you think Arsenal
Who would I
appoint?
love?
Who would you love?
Well, as a man who's available, Pochettino. I don't understand why we don't go and get him.
Do you think that's realistic? I'm not just saying that as a Tottenham fan.
As in, do you think we could acquire him, or do you think he would want to come?
Both. I mean, do you think realistically Pochettino as an Arsenal manager, based on what he said previously...
I think the thing is, Pochettino was never sacked by Espanyol, was he? He was sacked from Spurs. And I think if we was to go and make an approach, I can't see why he wouldn't. He clearly likes his time in London. Go on, Martinelli! Go on!
Oh, no, it's too
First chance for Arsenal. Martinelli edge of the box.
No, stand up.
Oh! First chance. We'll go back to the manager situation. Dave, talk us through that. Gabriel Martinelli, I know you're a big fan of his. He scored midweek against West Ham in his first Premier League start.
I'm a massive fan of his.
And that is the first big chance in the game.
And that looks like an area that we can definitely exploit. Both from Manchester City's centre-halves there, not doing their best, and is a pretty good save from Edison there. But Martinelli is the future. £6.5 million, absolute bargain.
Another chance for... Sean, nervous first minute for Man City.
Very nervous.
Welcome, Sean.
He's on the wrong wing.
I mean, the fans they haven't even arrived yet. There's still fans trickling in. Nearly saw a very quick opening goal.
Oh, God.
Dave, going back to your manager chat then.
Yeah, I think we could go and get Pochettino. I think we've got the money to actually acquire him. He clearly likes London. Yeah, why not?
He's the one that you'd have over anyone else available.
No, if I could have anyone, it would be Diego Simeone, because I want someone who's going to come in and instill a culture.
Go on.
Straight
down the other end. So Jesus and the ball. City in Arsenal's box.
De Bruyne!
Yes! Goal! Yeah. 1-0 Man City. A minute on the clock. Kevin De Bruyne. Sean Wright-Phillips. How happy are you with that?
we could be delighted. I can breathe a little bit there.
Wow,
What a finish that is.
Sorry,
Sean, talk us through this counter-attacking goal from Man City.
Look how he plays. It's a great run from Fernandinho to start with, and obviously Jesus, as he does, he gets off the back of the defenders and cuts the ball back. The finish from KDB.
Why is the left back ducked?
See, a lot of people look at that first and think that's an easy finish. That is a very tough finish with how the ball's coming across,
it's so
isn't it?
difficult, and he just struck it so cleanly as well.
Who's that?
What a start. So Arsenal having a chance with Martinelli one end in the first minute, straight down the other end. Kevin De Bruyne with a fantastic finish. It is Arsenal 0, Man City 1. Let us know on the stream what you're thinking. Will, it's come straight to you. Arsenal fans, Man City fans, get in touch. Just remind the viewers how they can get involved in the show. Will?
Yes, what a start we've had so far at Football Daily, at Soccer AM, and get your comments in the stream. I'm looking at it right now and we're reading the best ones out and getting the questions to the panel.
It's going to be a long game, isn't it?
It's going to be a long game, Dave.
That was a very good finish, don't get me wrong.
Very good finish.
Where was our players? How are you allowing Kevin De Bruyne to have that much time and space anywhere on the pitch?
It seemed like they didn't even know where he was.
Nobody told Chambers that Jesus was where he was, because he would have reacted a lot quicker. Like, he had that ball under control and was just slowly jogging back.
Also, after 2 minutes, everyone's bets off.
Yeah.
No, I said mine's off.
No,
yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne. Who had
Kevin De Bruyne, yeah, true.
KDB, yes, there we go.
You know,
Get involved as well. Give us your
mate.
predictions as well on the stream. Kevin De Bruyne having a great season, 9 assists in the Premier League this season, which is more than any other player. And he's got himself on the score sheet as well. Top player KDB. Ooh. So 1-0. What start we've had on the Football Social, James? Got nice and quite a nice, calm, reserved celebration, which makes me think that there's still a long way to go in this game, because there is. It was a goal in the second minute.
That's the thing. We can still be opened up. The thing I was most intrigued about before this game is to see Pepe versus Mendy, because Mendy's coming back. He hasn't quite been what we saw in the first kind of 15 games when he first joined us, since his 2 horrible injuries. But in the last game in the Champions League, he looked like he was coming back into some form. And obviously Pepe himself is coming into form, so I was looking forward to that battle. I think you're going to be, we won't be seeing it as much as I would like to this game, considering Arsenal already on the back foot. But I can't really complain about that.
Yeah, just showing a replay of the goal there. Kevin De Bruyne, fantastic finish.
Where's all your midfielders?
Good question, Sean. Very good question. Dave, would you like to answer that?
That's kind of what I said, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very good finish, but how has he got that much space? Like, I don't like.
End-to-end stuff, another half chance for Arsenal. But first Man City, but well defended by Arsenal.
Doing?
Every week they do this.
At the back. which Dave does not. Sean, give us an insight. You played in a lot of top games, obviously won the Premier League, of course. When you concede so early in the game, in terms of the game plan for Arsenal that have come with the game plan, does it almost go out the window now that they've conceded so early?
If they came with a defensive game plan, sometimes it's a difficult one, especially even if you're the team that scores that early. Man City don't really have that problem, but when I used to play, if we had got an early goal, it was like sometimes, all right, we've got like 86 minutes left to go, do you know what I mean? So, but it can work against. But the way City play, they keep going for goals. They keep the ball well, so they'll have most of the possession. Yeah. And hopefully they'll make a few more chances off them. Yeah, something tells me that we will be seeing more goals in this game. OK, Will, let's go to you in social corner. Let's get some questions for people on the stream.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is coming back to the title race now. So, do Manchester City, Sean, still have a chance for this title? Well, mathematically they do, but... Yeah, definitely. In my eyes, I think they do. Obviously... Right now, just looking at it, I'm like, where the hell is Liverpool going to not drop a point sort of thing? But Christmas, everybody knows how hard the Christmas period is. Teams start picking up injuries, team rotation, because it's like something like 7 or 8 games in like 12 days normally. Yeah. So it's a quick turnaround. So they drop 3 or 4 points. Man City and the other teams pick up the points. Surely. The league's situated very differently. Do you think the pressure of not winning the title will, because Liverpool had a 10-point lead last year, do you think that will start to filter down onto the pitch from the fans as well? And do you feel that as a player?
I wouldn't say you feel it in that way, but you feel it in a way is like, this can't happen again, sure. You know what I mean? But it's the Premier League so tough. Like it can go any way. Like they can either kick on and then just keep winning until it's out of reach for everybody, or they, like I said, they'll drop a few points. The other teams pick up points and everybody's talking differently then. So I think after Christmas we'll tell the full story. And obviously Liverpool as well, a lot of fixtures coming up over Christmas because they go to Qatar for the Club World Cup. They're in the Carabao Cup as well.
Great competition.
Merseyside derby in the FA Cup. So do you feel, Will, that this is the period for Liverpool to get through? If they get through Christmas and the December period with the fixtures with a decent return, that it's theirs to lose effectively.
We've also got that like sort of mini February break as well, haven't we? So I think especially after January, where Liverpool are strengthening and Man City aren't for right or wrong reasons, I think they weathered the storm. They didn't have Fabinho for a couple of weeks. When they didn't have Alisson, they weathered the storm. And even when they played the Merseyside derby, there was no Salah and no Firmino. Origi and Shaqiri come in and they win 5-2. So I mean,
another chance for City.
I think this is their time.
Ball whipped in, cleared by Arsenal. Dave Jackson's got his head in his hands. Dave, initial reaction to the first 7 minutes of the game?
Go on, run him! Hold on, let's just see what's going on. Martinelli, beat him!
Yo!
Take time!
It's it, left foot!
Pepe!
There's chances here, Smithy, I'm telling you.
Gabriel Martinelli, on positives for Arsenal, started very bright indeed.
He's an extremely good player. That's all I've got for you, mate.
Yeah?
Let me concentrate.
Is that the insight you've got for us? Have you watched him all season?
No, because I remember watching, you see, like the City United game last week. Like City started very, very well, but then like they managed to like weather that. And then, but we've done the complete opposite here. They obviously started well, but we've actually conceded. So now we've got to go and chase the ball, which means there's space for Man City to exploit. It's complete stupid.
This is the champions you're playing, Dave.
This is true.
They've been given the ball, like Arsenal have been given the ball in a silly position.
Free kick comes to Arsenal's rescue.
Martinelli looks really good so far.
So, Dave, everyone's fit for you. Obviously, Arsenal we know about Arsenal's issues at the back, but they have got a lot of good players going forward. Everyone's fit for you. Who do you start in those attacking positions for Arsenal? Because it's been changed a lot this season.
It's difficult to fit Lacazette and Aubameyang in the same team.
Really? You wouldn't start them?
They are probably our 2 best players, I would say. So it doesn't make sense to have one of them 2 players not the kind of player. But I guess to try and get decent balance in a team, then you kind of can't, because then I think if we have Aubameyang out wide, you kind of lose him as that number 10, as an actual striker kind of thing. And I think he probably is the better striker. If you're going to be a choice to have Lacazette or Aubameyang, I'll go Aubameyang over Lacazette.
And this is it. Ozil, the man that he's over a free kick corner now. Ozil whips it in.
I'm really glad he's back in the fold. I'm really glad he's back in the team.
Oh, what a touch that was, by the way. So you start Mesut Ozil, fully fit Arsenal team. Mesut Ozil starts for you every day of the week.
How can you look across the line, Smith? This is stupid. It's like, the thing is, when you go to these big teams, right, or when you play these big teams...
They're coming to you, actually.
Yeah, all right. When you play big teams, you have to do, like, the fundamentals first. Like, it's like... Still, mate, for tomorrow, mate, you've gone, mate.
James, is there anything you'd like to say to Dave now? No, good friends you are.
I don't want to rub it in too much. You know, you can see how he's like. He's a bit stressed at the moment, so I'll leave him be.
Dave, quick one from Noah. He says, if City were to lose, should Pep be sacked?
No.
Wow, who's that from?
These are the sort of people that are watching the stream, Sean. Sensationalist.
Who wants to answer that? James, you want to say that? Sean's still
Dave, so
laughing at the
Dave Jackson saying Pep should be sacked.
Well, if he isn't, come on.
What a guest that would be, by the way.
Fantastic.
Incidentally, if you do want to see my recent interview with Pep Guardiola, that is on the Sky Sports Football YouTube channel. Head over, like and subscribe.
The plugs are down there. Come on.
Any excuse for a plug. That doesn't even need an answer, does it?
No,
that question.
No, I mean, Pep's built something at City that we've never seen, and probably will never see again.
Really? That's where you're putting him. Never see the like of it again.
I think we can win titles in the future and whatnot, but I don't think we'll ever see something that, like, you know, 2 on the bounce or like, we've got to realise how lucky we are and realise how good Pep is and what's been built here. So
interesting stat after the Derby days. This is the worst points tally that Pep has ever had in Pep Guardiola's era, but it was like 32 points after 16 or something like that. So although it was meant as a negative, Sean, it's actually just goes to show, it's not a bad points tally. It just goes to show, for me, how successful he's been in previous years. Yeah. They're judging Pep on his own previous success. For you, do you go along with what James is saying? I know that they've got a fantastic team, but he's the best manager that Man City have ever had, period.
Yeah, hands down for me. Like James said, he's built something from, I wouldn't say so much as the grand, but like all the academies, they're taught the same way, they play the same way. So he's brought that in, and now it's like, in a way, it's like a City way of playing.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see, and like, I think if he built players for the years to come and for the new managers, even if there's a time where he decides to part ways, which I hope is never, he has a system there where a manager can come in and maybe pick 3 young players, and now the standard is ready to go in and go.
Yeah, it's a good point, that. On that, James, how long can you see him remaining as Man City manager?
I don't know. There's all this talk at the moment about where he can decide to leave this season. I think he'll. I think it won't last as long as Klopp will at Liverpool. I think Klopp will outlast.
Do you think Klopp will outlast Pep Guardiola?
Because we haven't really seen Pep stay at a club that long compared to. I mean, Klopp loves a long time at a single club, and I think that, you know, even if he wins the league this season, he's going to try and build and just until he's bored, which might never be the case. But Pep, I think he will move on eventually. 2-3 years if we're lucky. I say if we're lucky, being 3 years into that. But obviously I'd like him to stay forever, but we've got to be realistic.
You've got to factor into the equation as well. He has got 2 tapas restaurants in the city centre, one on King Street, which is phenomenal. So when you are making a big factor. You have got to think of these things, business portfolio, everything like that going forward. So.
Other tapas restaurants are available.
Not in Manchester.
Most team changes in the Premier League this season, Pep Guardiola, 44.
That's out of necessity.
Does that surprise you as a team that have been champions, retaining Premier League?
I think we've had our injuries and we're trying to plug a lot of holes, and I'm not surprised by that at all. I mean, we've had 3 players playing left back this season. We've had centre mids playing centre backs.
Fair point.
That's completely normal for the situation we're in.
Not a bad response.
Smith,
Dave,
go on.
I was just going to bring up Spurs for you, to get your plug in. Me and Sean was telling me Jose makes the team resilient. Very evident in that performance there, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I will be honest and say I thought Wolves were very good, and it was we all watched the last together. I watched the whole game with the last together as a collective. We watched the last 20 minutes. It was end to end, and I thought actually if anyone was more likely to score, it was Wolves. But big win, and I think they're sometimes more exciting when you don't sort of deserve to win, or they're a tight game and you grind it out with a set piece. It's quite enjoyable as a fan way to win a match when you can't see it coming. So delighted with the result. Delighted with Jose Mourinho, Dave.
Yes, mate, Jose.
No, it's a big win. He has undoubtedly had an impact.
Is that what he does though, Sean? Like, mate, because you were saying he makes your team so much more resilient when he's in charge.
Like when I was, as you see, when I was at Chelsea, I think the 2 years we was the best at winning 1-0. And like that's all you need to win a game. If you keep a clean sheet and you score 1 goal, and I think with the team he has at Spurs, he's got the firepower to score more goals, and Spurs do actually defend well as well. So he's in a good place at the minute, and if he does build on the team as well, then they can go on to actually do things, I think.
Lovely.
It is interesting, that, because I think a lot of people thought when Jose came in there would be a lot of 1-0s or he'd be resilient at the back, but the results have been 3-2, 3-2, 4-2. There's been a lot of goals, but a lot of goals conceded as well. Chance for Man City.
Go on.
Yeah! 2-0 Man City, big goal! Raheem Sterling, Sean Wright Phillips, talk to us.
Sure, can't believe it.
It's the combination of it. It's the way it's KDB to Sterling, whether he's on the right or left, he always seems to find him.
I expected Arsenal to play how we're playing, because they've dominated possession outside the box and we've just absolutely...
Yeah, we just saw a possession stat that Arsenal just edging possession. But the only stat that will matter, James, at this stage is Arsenal 0, Man City 2.
That was
Your good friend Dave
defending.
Jackson's in an Arsenal shirt next to you. What would you like to say to him?
That is atrocious.
I've given him a pat on
defending.
the back. I'm trying to do my best to support my friends
Yeah,
here,
but look at that
really
running back.
good. Oh,
Look,
they've just
they
lost.
didn't even-
Everyone's lost their players.
the fullback don't know where Sterling is, which he should do.
Yeah. And also, Sean, got to talk about Kevin De Bruyne. 1 goal, 1 assist. He has started this game as Kevin De Bruyne starts a lot of games. Lovely assist, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got the eye, hasn't he, really?
Yeah.
Like, it's a luxury team in a way, in senses like that, for an attacker. Like, if you're an attacker and you've got people like KDB and David Silva behind you, it's like you're spoiled.
It's a dream, right?
You're kind of spoiled, but as he does, he always picks out good passes, and Raheem's on the end of it.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling, 20th goal for club and country. It is Arsenal 0, Man City 2. Arsenal playing about it at the back as well. Had a big chance in the first minute, but it's only 16-minute plays. It is Arsenal 0, Man City 2. Let's go to the comments in the stream, Will. I imagine we've got a lot of very happy Man City fans right now.
Lots of very happy Man City fans. Lots of fans at other clubs sticking the boot in. Lots of...
Go on. Can you just repeat those last ones?
Lots of them flying around. But it just begs the question, Dave. Should you have had a manager ready and waiting?
I think we did not learn the lessons that Manchester United did when Fergie.
So you're saying you
want?
want David Moyes in?
I don't want David Moyes. No.
Okay.
But there's a player there. He's got 20 league goals, 20 goals a season. It's almost like someone should have bloody picked him up.
What's happened here?
Aubameyang's down there, nasty kick. I think it'll be all right. Just a kick from Fernandinho to Aubameyang. To the back of the leg, does get booked for it. 7 yellow cards in his last 11 appearances against Arsenal. Sean quite rightly saying he does love a yellow card.
Is he trying to do the old Sean? Do you ever encounter anyone trying to do the old yellow card Boxing Day trick there?
Nah. And if
Can you tell me any off camera?
Dave, I'm trying to give you a stat to give you some sort of positivity. Joint best comeback record in the Premier League this season. Arsenal winning 10 points from losing positions.
Wow,
So you have been in this situation
10.
before.
Yeah.
Do you see any sign of your beloved Arsenal coming back to it, or is your Christmas ruined?
We just got to try and not concede another one before half time.
You'd take 2-0 Man City right now at half time.
To get to half time at 2-0, yeah.
How many is it until you jump in the tree, you were saying?
5. It was 5. Did do an elf on the Christmas tree.
What I love about James Wayne is that we all sort of quite obvious. You're quite sort of subtle in the way that you put the dig in.
Little one in the stomach.
And Man City on the attack again.
Wow.
Oh, only 18 minutes gone, 2 goals on the Football Social. Get your questions in. Arsenal fans, what is going on at the Emirates? Man City fans, are you still in the title race if you win this? And other fans as well, let us know what you think about the battle for top 4.
Fantastic.
Tottenham winning today, Wolves losing 2, Spurs of course, Leicester drawing yesterday, Chelsea losing, Man City drawing. The race for the top 4 is well and truly on as well.
Well done, Foden.
This is
Help
mental.
him.
Instantly, you can get 12 to 1. Dave Jackson, 12 to 1 with our friends at Sky Bet for Arsenal to come back and win 3-2. Don't forget you must be 18 plus, full terms and conditions apply. Please bet responsibly. 12 to 1, 3-2 Arsenal.
Have a tenner, innit? You know what I mean?
To win?
Big time. Come
Agree.
on. Right, this is going straight on Socrates' bonds. Watch this.
Go on, Dave, talk us through what's going on. Half
Ozil.
chance for Arsenal. Ozil over a free
He's
kick.
got a free kick
Look
on
at the
Arsenal's
boots, Dave.
right.
Have a look at Ozil's boots there. Champagne Preds.
Yeah?
An absolute turn back. Sean, I remember you in the F50s, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic vintage.
Knowledge there.
Oh, come on.
There we go. Mesut
Beat the
Ozil whips
first
the free
man.
kick in. Dave.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Don't let him go back down that wing.
Getting
now
a
we
bit
go
of joy down that side.
Go on, Dave.
Pepe down the right-hand side, Kevin De Bruyne. He's trying to whip it in. Oh, lovely. Kevin De Bruyne looks really on it today.
It's almost like Pepe's has only got a left foot, isn't it?
Oh, what a pass.
Genuinely the worst players. Like, if you're playing against Kevin De Bruyne, he's on form. You're like, it must be horrible.
Here he
It must
is.
be horrible.
Just give him a kick.
He's had well lively Martinelli.
He's very good.
They're scared of him a little
Walker.
bit.
He's got Walker and Tolson in a minute.
And again,
Kevin
here we
De Bruyne
go.
again.
Could be 3.
Go on, just keep
Kevin De Bruyne
running.
has got
Keep
4
running.
red shirts
Arsenal
around
players
him.
there. Well done.
So praising Kevin De Bruyne for you,
Right.
James. Obviously, you've got such strength in depth. Who is the most complete player, do you think, for Man City? Everyone's fit. Tough question to answer, probably.
I probably would put Kevin De Bruyne because he's got goals, he's got assists, he's got, second assist. He knows how to put people through. He can defend when he wants to. You can't ask for anything more in a player, really. I mean, you could say Aguero just from the striking element, but I mean, if you're saying complete player, has to be De Bruyne.
Step back.
Or Edison, actually. Edison, just because he can play with his feet.
I'd love to see him play midfield. I think he'd do a job.
That'd be so fun. Be so fun.
I did say at the start of the season, I think Kevin De Bruyne, for me, I think he's the most complete player in the Premier League. If he stays injury-free, because he's had injuries, I think he is the contender that's most likely to win Player of the Season if he has a complete injury-free season. I just think he's just got absolutely everything to his game. Going on from what you say as well, I imagine he is a dream to play with. Just a dream
Just
to
run
play
in the box. If I was a striker,
You'd love it, wouldn't you?
Go in the box
Yeah.
all the time. I would never come out of the box, or even as a winger, just
on,
do what
4
Sterling
Arsenal
does.
players
Back
now,
post, it's gonna get there.
Yeah, Sterling loves that goal, doesn't he? Just running in back post. 20 minutes gone, still Arsenal 0, Man City 2. Dave, you've got the team sheet in front of you. Arsenal's bench. A few options on the bench. If it stays like this at half-time, would you be making any changes if you were Freddie Ljungberg?
Bring himself on, wouldn't he, Freddie?
Wouldn't at all. So you're happy with the selection, just not the performance?
I don't really know what. There's not like another defensive midfielder that can come into that team and just maybe pick up a bloody Man City player.
Lacazette on the bench, do you think is someone that we will see?
It's not really going forward. We're so open through the middle. It's not even. It's just. It's like they haven't planned for it whatsoever. And it's atrocious.
This was the meltdown that we all expected but didn't know we'd get. And again.
Oh, God.
Still alive, Man
And
City
again.
playing it about lovely, and it's in the box. Arsenal clear the danger. Only half clear. Over the bar. Let's bring you those substitutes for those unaware of the bench. Martinez, obviously Arsenal's backup keeper. Alexander Lacazette, David Luiz, Reece Nelson, Joe Willock, Emile Smith-Rowe,
picking him up?
and Saka. That is Arsenal's bench.
He dragged to the ball.
In case you're wondering what's going on, we are watching a replay of the second goal. A very young bench for Arsenal, so they do have a lot of options on the bench. Man City's bench, incidentally, Claudio Bravo, Zinchenko, Angelino, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Cancelo, Eric Garcia. So again, you'd imagine Pep will keep it as it is, but the likes of Silva and Mahrez, not bad names to
Who's that
choose
down?
from.
Is that Ozil?
I mean, it's once again the strength in our depth is just ridiculous. Hence why I can never really complain as a City fan. Because everywhere we're stockpiled. Maybe not in defence as much, but that's still...
Go on,
Pepe down the right, whips it in.
It's not too bad.
It's a poor ball. It is cleared by Man City. Let's go to social corner, Will, and take some questions.
Yeah, Ishmael says Sunday League players can defend better than Arsenal. A comment and a sentiment that I think we can all get on board with there. Away from this fantastic game of football, just to stir the pot with the Pep Guardiola rumours, do we think Barcelona are waiting to sack Valverde to bring in Pep? Could we see a reunion, a renaissance period in the north of Spain, south of Spain? My geography's not that good.
I think if I worked at Barcelona or was you'd want it so bad because I don't think the Barcelona fans are happy with the way Valverde plays. He's not what they're used to, not really kind of the Cruyff and the Guardiola kind of way of playing that total football. They'd love it. I'd hate it. So let's just hope it doesn't happen.
What do you think Pep's mindset would be about going back to Barcelona? 8 league titles in 10 full seasons as a manager, 23 major trophies in his managerial career. I mean, unbelievable manager. But do you think his mindset will be that he wants to go back to Barcelona one day?
I don't think he does. I think it'll be too much for him. He's very intense. Seems a very intense manager and person.
Yeah.
And he's done what he has at Barcelona. I don't think he'd want to tarnish it.
I think the thing is, if you were Pep, he could not achieve what he achieved the first time round. So it's the only way down from there, right? You know, because he basically had Messi as Messi, right? You know, he was almost Messi about to come to his peak. Yeah. It's like there's no way he could do what he did. Yeah.
You don't think Barcelona now are the threat they were under Pep back then?
No, I think he could. I think he could go to Barcelona and win trophies. Yeah. But I think he reached such a high point. For him to go back now, the expectation will be up there. It's almost like his reputation will only go downwards.
He's fancied international football as well, hasn't he? He's come out and said that in the past. So. I'll take him at Birmingham. We have got a Pep, actually.
Seems to do the leagues, though, doesn't he? He seems to go from country to country.
Yeah. What, you reckon a little Serie Aston?
That's right. If he does, which, like James says, I hope he doesn't, I think that could be a possibility if
A Juventus or something like that.
AC Milan have got a bit of Wonga to spend, haven't they? A bit of cash.
Wonga.
Bit ready.
Imagine if you turn them around.
Down south now, we've got to fit in, sure.
Will, any more questions on the stream while it's a fairly quiet
Yeah, plenty
moment in the
flying
game?
in, thick and fast. If you want to get in touch, use the hashtag TFS, get them in the stream. Or at SoccerAM, at Football Daily. It was announced this week, obviously Chelsea's transfer ban has been rescinded.
Yes, big news.
Um,
nice bit of skill there from Pepe, Mesut Ozil. Lovely bit of play for Arsenal down the right-hand side. Just stick with this, Will, before we come to that question. Arsenal playing it all the way back, though. Go on, let's get it in.
Yeah, who do we think they should... If one dream signing for Chelsea, obviously Zaha's been mentioned, Ben Chilwell
Sancho's been mentioned as well.
obviously not happy. And then there's the scandal at Napoli as well. Apparently Koulibaly, Mertens, all up for grabs as well. So
It's like... People are mentioning, like, all right, Jadon Sancho, but I mean, like, Zaha, but they've got, like, four amazing wingers there.
Surely defenders what they need. Totally agree.
Chilwell seems to be the obvious one for me because I don't think Alonso gives them that much defensively and isn't playing as well as he was, and Emerson has never really seemed to fit into that team. I think Chilwell would...
If you're Ben Chilwell, though, a couple of seasons ago, the Leicester to Chelsea move, you can understand. But Leicester now, I feel it's a tough team to leave, isn't it?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, but if I was, it'd definitely be in the defence if he's going to buy somebody a bit younger, I think.
I think Nathan Ake is the most likely signing for Chelsea because he's got a buyback clause from the move from Chelsea to Bournemouth. I think they really like. I think he's a fantastic player and no disrespect to Bournemouth. I've been a big fan of Eddie Howe and the way Bournemouth play, which I've mentioned many times on this show. But I think if Chelsea came calling with that buyback clause option that he's got, and I think that he would start in that Chelsea team as well, I can possibly see Ake happening. Chance for Arsenal.
that was going in.
Stand up, don't give a penalty. Look,
big moment in the game. Arsenal players appealing for a penalty. The ref shaking his head. Dave Jackson is on his feet. This will, of course, go to VAR, but the ref has not given it, which is a big factor when overturning a decision. So it's likely that the ref won't overturn it based on the fact that he hasn't given it, but VAR will look at it.
He'll be waiting for play to
They have until the next break of play to look at this. Of course, the ball is still in play. Sean Phillips as well, thinking it might have been a dive. Meanwhile, Man City on the attack, so we will get everyone's thoughts on that, whether we think that was a penalty, whether VAR will overturn it, or a booking will be made for a dive. Sean, your initial reaction was dive, no penalty.
100%.
100%.
How long can they wait for VAR?
It's got to be the next break.
The next break of play. So
but what if the next break of play ain't for like another 7 minutes?
Well, it'd be interesting to see how long it is. Man City passing it around.
If he does get booked for this, it'd be really.
The maximum time is until the next break of play. So that's the amount of time they have until to potentially overturn it.
Like for Guendouzi giving away, if he has got a yellow card, how silly is that? He's got to defend a lot this game, and now he's lost his kind of one opportunity to put a little bit of a maybe tactical foul, a bit of a
a big appeal from the Arsenal fans behind the goal, as there would be, as you'd expect.
Well out, Callum.
But the ball is still in play, and Man City have it in attack. Dave, with your Arsenal hat on, take it off.
I was
being unbiased, penalty or no penalty?
I'd have to see. I'd have to see it again. I don't think there was much of an appeal from the Arsenal players. To be fair,
just the fans behind the goal that. So no penalties given. We're in the 28th minute. We'll of course update
you. It's a little bit encouraging, though.
Yeah.
You know. That's all I've got.
Will anyone mentioning VAR that decision? Penalty? Any thoughts? The ball's still in play. Arsenal have a chance.
Mesut.
Go on, champagne press.
Well done.
Robbie said, I've just seen it. It's not a dive. There was another one in there saying he thought it was a dive. So my like opinions, many are subjective. But we all know it was a big
still waiting for a
dive.
replay, Stanley. None of us have seen a replay of that decision. As soon as we see a replay, we will give you our thoughts.
If that's a penalty, I'll get Sean Wright Phillips tattooed on my inner thigh.
Would you actually?
Oh, that's on camera.
Never thought.
Please make it a penalty.
Yeah, I never thought I'd want to see a penalty as a Spurs fan, but I really want to see a penalty now.
Of a tattoo.
So can they still? If the break and play hasn't happened, so can it be a penalty?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They have until the next break of play to overrule it. So VAR will look at any decision like that.
Oh,
the ball
until
the next break of play.
So they probably looked at it and decided.
They are looking at it in Stockley Park as we speak. It's very unlikely, we think, that it will be overturned. But obviously we are not operating VAR at Stockley Park. The ball hasn't gone out of play yet. So as soon as we see a replay, we will update you. We haven't seen a replay. This might be the ball out of play. No, it's not.
It's all right, Robbie
On a
told us.
side note, this must be the longest ball not out of play that I've ever seen. Sean, what's your favourite ball not out of play moment in Premier League? This one.
What a time.
Will, you're the great thing about having you on the show as a Birmingham fan, you're very honest, you have no allegiance to either side. What was your initial reaction when you saw that penalty or no penalty?
Well, I've never had a tattoo, so I wouldn't make such a bold claim, so I do think it was a big fat dive from the cheetah.
Okay.
From the cheetah.
There we go.
There we go. It's a penalty! He's giving it.
Right, so it is a
Are
free
they gonna
kick
check it?
to Man City, so we will have a replay of the
was that?
penalty,
But-
Sean.
What was that?
Sean Wright Phillips called it. He said no penalty dive. So with that said, he's lucky not to get booked there. Sean.
Yeah, that's
which you did say straight away.
That should be yellow card.
That does mean that you've got to get a tattoo of me on your Sorry, Sean, that's the rules. Those are the rules.
So few people on the stream saying no dive, Will. Has anyone changed their
I'd say
mind?
a few. One person said it was a penalty, but he must just be watching us watch the stream, because if you got two eyes, you know, that was definitely not a penalty. But I think just picking back up on the Chelsea shout, we had a little bit about it. But Dave, about you?
What?
For Chelsea.
Who they should sign?
Yeah. You got to put a little Premier League premium
I think
on
that
it,
like Nathan Ake, particularly because the position that Bournemouth are in as well. I think that you can only see them going downwards, can't you? And the fact that he knows the club, they are in need of a bit of strength, and particularly in that centre half position. I think that would be a good signing all round, apart for actual Bournemouth.
Yeah. Price boots to give you on your screen right now. Kevin De Bruyne to score a brace. Interesting, he hasn't scored a brace for Man City for 4 years.
Wow.
It was 3-1. It's now 7-2 with Sky Bet. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply.
Wow,
There we go, 7-2 for De Bruyne to score a brace. Reminder that it is still 2-0 at the Emirates. Arsenal 0, Man City 2, with goals from KDB and Raheem Sterling. There we go. Well, let's get back to the stream. Plenty of questions coming in. It's a little bit of a quieter period in the game.
Yeah, get some questions to Sean. Sean, if you were one player that you'd have loved to have played with this current Manchester City team.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely Kevin De Bruyne. Like I said before earlier in the show, just as a winger, just being able to run and know the ball's coming. You don't even have to call for the ball. He just sees you and he expects it from you, which is a nice feeling as an attacker to have.
Obviously, you've done different stuff with Manchester City now, but obviously you're there in the beginning, but before the big money came in. What were the players, but what were the big differences on and off the pitch?
I'd say the drive, and obviously the club's ambition in the direction it's going. Of course, back then it was a dream to have the club do what they're doing now, but it wasn't sufficient and it didn't look like it was going to happen. So we just wanted to stay in the Premier League back then. But now the focus and the drive is to win the Premier League or win as many trophies as you possibly can, which they did last year really well.
Fantastic. Smith, you're getting a bit of that now, aren't you, with Jose? That sort of expectancy, that winning mentality?
Spurs?
Yeah.
Go on, Dave, you want to take this question?
Day off, man.
Do you think the expectancy's gone up then, Will?
I don't think you get
to Jose.
Jose Mourinho doesn't go to Spurs without a transfer budget being provided
in January?
And he also doesn't go without thinking he can win a trophy there.
I think he will win a domestic trophy as manager of Tottenham.
Can't be the Carabao Cup though, unfortunately, this year, because you did lose to Colchester on penalties.
We did, that is factually correct. Moving on, Will. Free kick for Arsenal. Dave, talk us through this.
Mesut Ozil, can he pick someone out? Socrates, back stick. That's just poor, isn't it? Come on, Pepe, beat him. 1-on-1.
We spoke about Pepe.
That is a ball!
Dave, we spoke about Pepe before the game. What do you make of his first half an hour?
I don't think he's done too much wrong. I don't think, our issues have not been going forward. I feel like we've had a few sniffs.
Look at that space.
Yeah, Sterling, look at it. It's a better ball, is it?
Yeah.
Right, bit of a stat question for you guys to get involved in.
Would you call it a quiz?
I could call it a quiz.
Get it in.
Quiz. Since his Premier League debut, a man we've been speaking about highly, Sean Wright Phillips say the one he'd once played more than any other City player is Kevin De Bruyne. He has been arguably the best player on the pitch so far. And since his Premier League debut for Man City in September 2015, KDB has both scored and assisted. So scored and assisted in 11 different games in the Premier League. Only 3 players have done so more in this time. Can you name the 3 players? All
Sterling.
Premier League players. Sterling is not one of them.
Scored or assisted?
Firmino is one of them.
Get in.
So scored and assisted.
Oh, scored and assisted.
Scored and assisted in the same game 11 times in the Premier League.
I see
Salah
what you
is one.
James Maddison?
Well done. So 3 players have done more. Salah and Firmino have done it 13 times. There's one other player who's done it more, 12 times.
James Maddison?
Not James Maddison.
Harry Kane?
Not Harry Kane, not Mesut Ozil.
It's got to be a City player.
Lucas Moura?
Not Lucas Moura.
Sergio Aguero.
Not Sergio Aguero.
Ian Walker.
No, Ian Walker.
Ian Walker.
Unsurprisingly, no. One more player. Get involved if you know on the stream.
Yeah, get him in, and I'll pretend I've come up with the answer. Fantastic.
One other player.
Eden Hazard?
No.
Leroy Sané?
No.
Christian Eriksen?
No.
You can't just since 2015. Since 2015.
Correct.
All right.
Oh, I love it when we get a little...
Oh,
Here we go.
Oh, this is
It's going to be a Tottenham player. He's a bit excited about this. It's going to be a Spurs player.
Christian Eriksen.
No.
Said that.
Dele Alli.
Son.
Yes, it is Son Heung-min.
Oh.
There we go.
done.
Son Heung-min 12. Firmino, Salah 13. Kevin De Bruyne 11. That is scoring and assisting in the same game. 4 top players.
All right, if we get
Do you
one
have
back
any of
before
those 4 players? Are you going to say KDB again, Sean? Have all of them?
Thank KDB.
Trying to think of a question where the answer isn't KDB.
Stephen Carr.
What's going on there?
What?
Just
I don't
having
know
a
what's
go.
going on.
Right back. Anyone?
All right.
Not in there?
Rodri booking 35th minute, by the way. Confirmation of that on your screen. Did get booked. Bit of a lull in the game.
Well, there is a lull,
slight
Smith.
Injury. Go on.
Don't like to have this sort of negative outlook on life, but a question from Blue Penguin.
Not
He
who's
says,
going to get relegated.
no, worse. Who do you think will be the next manager out of the league?
Oh.
Who do you think will
Out
be
of the
sacked?
league. Sounds like it's a game show. They get booted out.
Could be
Here's
gone.
what you could have won.
I mean, we've had a few chops and changes recently. Manuel Pellegrini, good result for him yesterday. When we mentioned it at the top of the show.
Yeah.
Ralph down at Southampton.
Well, hopefully Arsenal working
That's
on
a
a...
question.
I know.
It's a
You
conversation.
know what it is? Social media. don't get involved with it, mate. Need to get out of it.
It is brutal, isn't it? The amount the managers coming and going.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, Watford have got rid of 2 this season already.
I mean, there's one. Nigel Pearson. Is he the right man at Watford?
It'd be fun.
Let go of a second division Belgian team last season.
Arsenal should get Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe for you, Sean.
He'll be a good
Eddie
manager
Howe's the
for Arsenal.
standout contender for the Arsenal job.
He'll definitely be a good manager for
You think?
Arsenal. Yeah, 100%. If he can do it with Bournemouth, no disrespect to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
He can definitely do it at big.
Yeah, Bournemouth took him League 2 they were in the relegation zone, I believe, when he took charge at Bournemouth, all the way to Premier League, and they have maintained their status as a Premier League club. Weaknesses at the back for Bournemouth. I know they kept a clean sheet yesterday, but that is probably the critique that a lot of people have of Bournemouth teams. They do tend to concede a lot of goals, although they beat Chelsea 1-0 yesterday.
Injury.
And it's worth putting out they have had probably the
Left back.
worst run of injuries. Sean Wright Phillips says, as an Arsenal fan, how would you react if Eddie Howe got the job?
I wouldn't. I feel like there's a better calibre of manager at the higher level that we could go and get. That is not a disrespect towards Ed Howe, because
Well,
the
it
job
is a
is
little
done.
bit,
But do you think that calibre of manager will go? Because
to
you're like,
Arsenal?
yeah, because you have to think about Arsenal's situation.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not winning anything.
I feel-
they're not really getting a budget to spend.
Keep
that,
going,
What they
They're
want.
rubbish.
Yeah,
I feel
other
like-
reasons.
Could finish 7th.
I feel
Sheffield
like
United
we've
are above
actually got the infrastructure there to get
Yeah,
back
that
to
I
the top.
agree with.
But I think he's bringing Saka on at left back, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Right, injury for Arsenal. Dave, just talk us to what happened.
Oh, he's going to have to. I don't know. He's going to put left back.
You're gonna have to shuffle the
maybe
team.
put like
Luiz
Gwen.
I would put David Luiz because of his experience.
Just
and
to go
just
in
tell
there.
him to stay there.
And 'cause he's
Don't
made-
go forward.
Did you
stay in
boo David
position.
Luiz?
No.
Just missed him.
Yeah.
So it looks like Saka's coming on. Is it Kolasinac coming off? Dave, injury to his ankle, it looks like.
It looked like he'd been playing with an injury all game.
This is bad. This is. I feel like he should have brought another centre half on him. We'd go free at the back, and then
That's
have
what
an
I mean.
extra
There's a way
line.
to do it.
So
Made
confirmation
a
of
note.
this sub. It is Kolasinac coming off for Arsenal, limping off. Left ankle, it looks like. Right ankle, is it, Kolasinac? He's definitely coming off. Saka's coming on. So you expect him to play as a fullback, Dave?
Well, and maybe Martinez's
Or maybe he changes it a bit?
I'm
Did he
trying
go
to
on 3
figure out.
Made enough playing centre back.
Yeah, this
that's
is
what
going
it
to
looks
get
like
messy,
he's
innit?
gone for it.
And why ain't he got him on already? Come on, Freddie. That's Christmas will be through, mate. Come on. Oh, this isn't good, is
Has
it?
Freddie Ljungberg got an outside chance if he manages to have a bit of a Ole Gunnar
Again, I
Solskjaer
think
moment
that
and
again
turn
would
results
be-
around? Is
would be
he
us not
in
learning
the
from
running?
Manchester United again. I think we need a manager who's going to come in and almost install a brand new culture, because I feel like we've got the hangover of the post-Wenger years. Unai tried to come in, probably
Uno,
wasn't.
it's a card game, isn't it?
Whatever his name is, Unai Emery. So he decided came in. I actually think he did a decent job first season. If we could have got the Champions League football that he probably should have gone and got, then it'd be a little bit different.
Europa League
but
final.
the moment the players stop playing for you,
Do you think that happened as an Arsenal fan? You think that the
100%.
Arsenal players
I feel
categorically stopped playing for Unai Emery?
I feel the players lost respect for him, and I think in any walk of life, if you
Oh my God.
KDB with a chance. Oh, what a goal!
What a goal.
Sean, surely that is goal of the day so far. What a strike. A man that we were talking about, you said you want to play with him over any other City player, and he has been on fire today. An assist and 2 goals for KDB.
There's the brace, whoever put that bet on it.
There we go, yeah. We brought it to you with Sky Bet. It is now Arsenal 0, Man City 3. It is all going wrong. Can we please, on camera 2, have a zoom in on Dave Jackson's face because it is a picture. There we go. If you want to go in any further, be my guest.
He just rolled it.
close him down, close him down.
Oh, Dave,
Like a training goal, isn't it?
It's like
as Arsenal fan right now.
Chambers has to step out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That is a brilliant.
He's not going to do anything now.
Yeah, he just steps back.
I mean, unbelievable strike there. Look at Dave, there he is. Dave, great strike.
Mate.
From a Man City point of view, a lot of positives.
Mate, this is
But
brilliant, bro.
defensively for Arsenal again,
That tree's getting
what is
it,
going
mate.
on?
That's a very good goal. You can't deny that, but it's like
Brilliant.
it's
This
not like
cutaway
we
is
don't
brilliant.
know he's a good player. Why are they giving him that much time?
Sean, what were you just saying about
Yeah,
Chambers?
like Chambers takes a step back. That means he's giving him
Got to
that
him.
shot.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
he's
it's
got to
like-
go to the ball there.
First Premier League brace in 136th appearances in 4 years, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, he did win the
We're
bet.
singling him out. We had it as a Sky bet earlier. As
they
a
give it
price
away.
bet. And Man City on the attack again.
Oh, my
Wait, no, talk us through this.
I don't really know how we got the ball, but we've got it. They've got it now, so that doesn't last very long.
I don't know what formation we're playing at the moment. We don't have anyone on the left,
I
and
don't
this
think
is
they know what
ridiculous.
formation they're playing.
Take a forward off. Bring on David Luiz. Let him just sit in front of our in front of our defence. It's stupid. Like, why? Who have we got? Play
Dave,
left
down
back
the
now.
camera, Dave. If Freddie Ljungberg is watching this at half time, down that camera 2.
I'm not having a go at Freddie.
What do you want to say to
Let's
him?
get that right. You know.
There you go. Look down the camera.
Chiantini injured for 5 months now, and or whatever it is now. And now who's going to play left back next week?
Would you say you're pro Freddie or?
I'm always going to be pro. I'm always going to be pro Freddie. Same as I was always pro. I was pro Arsenal. I never once said
Yeah, that is true.
get Arsene Wenger out. Because look what we like, but he did that. And now look.
So that's for you, a mistake to get rid of Arsene Wenger.
I think it's a mistake getting rid of him without a plan.
Yeah.
Like you saw all the mistakes Manchester United make after having a legend like Sir Alex Ferguson,
Yeah.
without going, okay, this is the person we're going to bring in, and he's going to work under Arsene for the next 2 years. So he started becoming his team.
But that was the plan.
We
Wasn't
never did
Unai Emery
that.
the plan?
No,
he was
because
the
it
man.
was
A
just-
lot of
it-
Arsenal fans are very excited about at the time.
To be honest, I was excited about it at the time because it was going to be.
How easy he done that.
John! Kevin De Bruyne is unplayable right now. Can we just talk about that?
Foden. I have to give
Let's
that
talk about Kevin.
What Foden just did there was amazing.
Go on, we're
And
going to see a
obviously the
replay any
setup was
minute.
perfect
Can you
for
please
KDB.
talk us through this moment of genius from Foden and Kevin De Bruyne?
He just whizzes through them like if the Arsenal players.
What a
I have to
save.
say as well, what a
What a
save this
save.
is from Leno.
We would be absolutely.
Oh, I have to say,
phenomenal.
that is a phenomenal save from Bernd Leno to deny Kevin De Bruyne. What would
Arsenal
have
team's gotta
been
help that
3
goalkeeper.
unbelievable goals, by the
Yeah,
way.
great, exactly. Great goals. You can't really blame the keeper for those, but the defenders have to help him.
This will ruin Dave Jackson's day, evening, and probably Christmas, Sean. Have you got any positives for Arsenal this half at all? You can say no to that question.
I did earlier in the game the fact that the Martelli and
Martinelli.
Pepe were creating the chances and stuff like that, but now, since the first goal, it's kind of just gone downhill for him. to be
One
honest.
positive for Dave Jackson, obviously Aubameyang has never scored against Man City in the 4 times he's played against them. So,
How's that positive?
sorry, and it was a negative. Sorry, Dave.
Let's get some questions and some comments and opinions on the stream.
Yeah, they are flying in. You can imagine many people just laughing. DT says, not that DT, another DT says, Freddie Ljungberg, get out.
Ooh,
Strong.
is that an Arsenal fan?
Cannot confirm nor
Okay.
deny those.
Can we just get, while you line up a few more comments, thoughts on that comment?
What was the comment?
DT,
mate?
Freddie Ljungberg
Yeah.
out.
No, I think we definitely need we need a plan. We need a manager. We definitely need a
pillar.
new manager. But this isn't Freddie Ljungberg's fault. This isn't Freddie Ljungberg's fault. There's been a lot wrong for a long time, and now we're paying the price for it.
Do
now.
you think in the Premier League that now that there is a mindset, certainly, when things aren't going right, it's easy to blame a manager? We've seen so many managers come and go. We were asked a very negative question earlier of who's the next manager to go. Players have to take responsibility, Sean, don't they, when things aren't going right?
Yeah, totally agree with you there. For me, like, Freddie's picked a team. It's a good team.
Yeah.
How is Foden
the team
winning that header?
Is not a bad
And fair
team.
play, he's played an attacking team because he thinks he wants to go for the win.
He's gone for the result. And it's not a bad team.
No.
They just don't seem to defend well. And they're playing against a team that creates a lot of chances. So it doesn't go together. If that makes sense.
It goes higher as well. I mean, look at the transfer policy. Whoever thought getting David Luiz in to shore up the defence for £7 million was a sensible move? I mean, Frank Lampard must have been rubbing his hands together when he was getting cash for that. It's just an absolute liability.
I just never understood that transfer in general, to be honest with you, how it even came about, because there wasn't really any talks about
all
it
of a sudden,
or whispered.
Quick, isn't it?
It just happened.
Yeah, it's been all Man City this half. It is Arsenal 0, Man City 3. We are approaching injury time in the first half. Man City with a half chance here on the edge of the box. Chance to make it 4 and to just compound what is a very miserable day.
Sean, do you think this is a positive for Man? It's a new way of like the last 2 seasons, a very like vintage Pep Guardiola performance.
You go away to Arsenal. Well, not so much this year, but it's a hard place to go to, and it always has been a hard place. But to go there and obviously be winning 3-0 at half time, it looks good running into Christmas. You're playing with Phil Foden, who's playing amazing. KDB's got his goal scoring boots on and his assists. Hopefully positive things will come out of it. Oh my God, goal. Unlucky.
Well done.
What about you, Wayne?
Yeah, I mean, the massive positive I can take from this is Kevin De Bruyne, as you were kind of saying, like coming into form at this time.
Brilliant.
This is always the most crucial, time of the season, and having Foden, who's I think David Silva, I think, is injured at the moment.
It's worth talking about Phil Foden actually, because we're singing the praises of Kevin De Bruyne, but Phil Foden, the start, someone we spoke about at the top of the show, not done a lot wrong. Looked very good today, isn't he?
I mean, I watched him on Champions League midweek, and it was phenomenal. Like, if he was an experienced player, you would still praise him as much as you would in that game. Like, he was heavily involved in all 4 goals. I don't think he got I think he got maybe 1 assist, but definitely got his goal. And like the tenacity of him as well. Like in the first goal, he got kind of hacked down. They were going to give a free kick, but he got up, ran, kept the ball alive, and then we did score from it. And I mean, it's a similar situation to when like Sean was coming through. It's like Man City haven't really had that many people come through the youth system. It's more exciting when they're one. You feel that you're one of us. Like, you're part. The club is in you, and you're part of the club. And it's just so exciting at the moment.
Yeah, lots of reasons to be excited for Man City fans. Take a few questions quickly before we get to half-time, Will.
Yeah, lots of comments flying in thick and fast. Morgan Rutherford says Spurs are way better now than Arsenal. Adrian says Arsenal should sell their back.
Sorry, I missed that. Will, what was the last comment?
So, that was Morgan Rutherford saying Spurs are way better than Arsenal now. That Spurs are way better than Arsenal now.
Can't argue with that.
Just get the questions up. Yeah, they are flying in. If you want to get them in, use them, hashtag TFS, and we'll get them over to Sean right now. What do you do, Dave, second half?
I think you've got to take Mesut Ozil off.
Oh, do you? Ozil off for you?
It's always to blame, isn't it?
And then, no, it's not. I was actually glad to see him start, but we need to try and make sure this doesn't end up 6 or 7.
Do you think that's realistic now? You look
it really is. We're so open. Every time City get forward and have the ball just outside our area, it looks like they're going to score. We're not getting close enough to them. We're not pressing them. Like they got far too much time and space, and it's ridiculous. So I would bring Mesut Ozil off. Potentially, maybe bring like Joe Willock on just to sit.
Would you over Lacazette?
Yeah. No. There's no point bringing.
Half-time scenes and big audio. Listen to that booze at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 0, Man City 3. Star man, no doubt, Kevin De Bruyne, been unplayable at times. 2 goals and an assist, and the boos are ringing loudly at the Emirates. Dave, what are your thoughts on that? We've heard boos for Wenger, boos for Emery, Freddie Ljungberg. Do you think this is more the performance that they're booing as an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, I think it's performance. I think any time a team loses 3-0, there's some responsibility on the manager. So as much as I'm saying it's not without Freddie, like it's just not been good. We have not done the basics right here. We've allowed Man City far too much time, far too much. It's almost like we're giving them far too much respect. Like this is a City team that have come off a loss to Man. We should be straight at them. We're playing at home.
You should be what?
Straight at them, giving them kicks, giving them. It's just ridiculous. This is the easiest 45 minutes City have had in a long time.
Brilliant.
You're very welcome.
Sean, let's look at it from Man City's perspective. Dream half, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great start. Of course, the early goal helped us, and it kind of set the stone for the game for us. It's then made Arsenal have to open up and push a little harder, which creates more space for Man City. And obviously, you can see Kevin De Bruyne has been happy to take that space.
What a performance from KDB. Right, let's go to Social Corner. Will, let's take a few questions now.
Yeah.
Got a good time to get some of the questions in. What have you got for us?
Yeah, get your questions in for Sean as well. We've got a legend of the Premier League sat right here. Sean, I just want to pick apart that wonderful career. Starting with Jose Mourinho. You mentioned a little bit about him before, but as a manager, was he probably the best one that you played under?
Yeah, in my career, yeah, he would definitely been the best manager I played for at the time.
Yeah. We were speaking just at the start of the show before we came on air. Before you went to Man City, you were actually rejected by Nottingham Forest, weren't you?
By Steve Wigley and Paul Hart. They said I was too small and wasn't good enough at the time.
Is that something new? Have you seen Steve Wigley since?
Yeah, he actually had us, didn't he, at Man City? The year that Robbie Fowler and Steve Mack was there.
Okay.
Steve Wiggs was the assistant. They gave him all the abuse for me, so...
Brilliant. Did you feel like giving it a bit?
I just laughed about it, to be honest with you.
Brilliant.
But, yeah, it's football, like I always say, even to my son now. A lot of the times it's a matter of opinion, so try not to be so too disheartened about it. Just put your head down and work harder.
Just speaking about your son, he's playing phenomenally under the under-18s. For the City lads up north were telling me as well. But how far can he go?
It's down to him. He I might let him.
Thank you, mate. That's on record. Put that out.
Yeah, he's got the potential and the technical ability to go all the way. It's just obviously maturing in the game. He still needs to get a little bit physically stronger, and to get into a City team, as I said earlier, like it's completely different from when I did it. The wingers that he's behind are at the top of their game. Some of them even came close to winning Ballon d'Or. So do you know what I mean? He's got a long way to go, but at the same time, he's learning from some great players.
We spoke during the show as well. There was a sort of transition period with the money coming into Man City. Sort of the catalyst for that was Robinho coming into the club. Was there any stories from when you were playing with him, and what was it like to have such a player at that time?
It just made me think when he came in, are all Brazilians like this? Like, no, we used to, in the changing room, we would just chill out. Some of us would have obviously the music, but like Robinho and Alano, which I'm really close with, would just be there. They'll turn the samba music on, and they'll just be dancing and doing kick-ups, and that's basically was their warm-up. So it was nice to see. Like it just changed the environment and the aura of the dressing room. It was a nice combination we had.
And on this fixture, he scored a goal. I remember that little dink goal he scored for Man City against Arsenal. What a goal that was!
He was a good player to have in your team. Attacking.
Yeah,
attacking. On that, Sean, can I ask? You've had a very successful career, obviously, for England, City, Chelsea. One moment, we always ask any ex-player that comes on the show, what would you say your proudest moment was, your career highlight?
I think coming on for England, my debut against Ukraine. Okay. I think as a kid, I always wanted to obviously represent the country, and to get that opportunity to do it and actually score. Yeah. Like it played a key role in my life, and it always... Something
you dreamt of growing up. Was that quite nerve-wracking going into it, getting your first ever England appearance? Is it something you overanalyse, or you just try and take it in your stride? Because I imagine, I mean, not that any of us have come near it, but it must be quite hard to keep your composure with your first ever match for your country.
At the time, it wasn't so much about composure. I was more naive when I went into the game, to be honest with you, like, because I just thought, all right, I'm in the England squad, I've trained, it doesn't mean I'm gonna play the game. Yeah. Then I end up sub, and then they bring me on, so I just say, all right, I'm just gonna run basically when I get the ball. That's basically what I've done, and I got a shot off at the end, and it went in.
And that moment when you're coming on, just describe what's going through your head.
It was more like, oh my God, I'm coming on the pitch, I'm going to be playing with Stevie G. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Go on, give us some of the names on the pitch that day.
Like, Beckham was there. Do you know what I mean? There's some players there, and I was like, OK. I have to step my game up, really. So I just tried to be positive, and my dad always just said to me, just be positive. Like I said, just go at people. That's what you're known for doing, and basically what I did.
Brilliant. But one more question, Will?
Yeah, obviously near the end of your career, linked up with Harry Redknapp at QPR. What about him? What was he like as a manager? You always hear wonderful stories about him.
He was different, to be honest. Like when he was at Spurs, obviously there was times there that I could have joined Spurs, but I chose to come back to City. It was different. I think it was hard when he came to QPR because the way everything was done at QPR was when they got the influx of money, they didn't buy a team, they just bought players.
Is it like me when I get my student loan? Just like, I don't know what's going on.
So it was a bit hard for him. So he's obviously come in to manage a team with just players that don't necessarily gel together. Individually, they might be good players, but we never really had an identity when we was there, and he's come in and trying to create that as well after a chain of managers. He didn't really get time to do all those things, and I think it was just a hard challenge for him, to be honest.
Great stuff. Keep your questions coming in incidentally throughout the afternoon for Sean Wright. If there's any questions you want to ask to any of us, but I imagine you want to ask some to Sean about his career, or Dave Jackson about his career and how disappointed he is today, keep them coming at Soccer at Football Daily. Right now, there were a few other games today, as we know. These were the scenes. Big win for Tottenham in the rain at Molineux. The only reason we were showing this is because Dave Jackson's on the show and Arsenal currently trail 3-0. But it's a big win for Tottenham. Injury time winner thanks to Jan Vertonghen, and the points were shared at Old Trafford. 1-1 that finish. So another good result for Duncan Ferguson. There you can see what that means to him. They did take the lead, incidentally, but Man United equalised, and it was a good day for Everton. Let's hear from all involved earlier on today.
Duncan, with all that illness and injury, what sort of result is that here?
It's tremendous. What a fantastic performance the boys put in. What a shift. Unbelievable. We just couldn't hang on there. We're trying to change the shape a little bit. Just couldn't get the information on. Boy, they were fantastic there, man.
Was there part of you almost disappointed he didn't actually come away with the win?
You know what, at the moment I'm delighted. I'm delighted because we've got a point. Of course we were winning. But no, I can't complain, to be honest with you. Man United come on strong in the second half. I thought we looked good in the counter-attack as well. We had one or two chances when Dominic broke forward. If we could just have found that final pass. But I thought the boys were absolutely amazing.
Well, Ollie, first of all, a point taken away from that game. But does that feel like an opportunity missed in this one?
Yeah, we're disappointed we don't get three. Towards the end, I felt we ran out of time and we didn't have the ideas towards the end to win it. But we put pressure on them. Kept them on the back foot. There was never any doubt if there was one team that's going to win it. I felt it was us, but then they're always dangerous on counter-attacks or set plays. So you're never sure, but we came back. You shouldn't concede goals like this set plays again, but we'll work on them.
Jose, what's your first reaction? It was a dramatic way to win the game.
First of all, let me share with you a little big emotion, which is my dad played here in this stadium against Wolves, with a cup match, early 70s. And it was a special feeling for me. A part of that one, big match, big match. And they showed everything that I told in the press conference before the game. How good they are, how strong they are at every level. Tactically, technically, mentally, they are very, very strong. And for us to cope with them and to arrive in a position of possible to win the game in the last period of the game was a big effort from a team that has a lot to improve by the tactical point of view. But we are getting there. And amazing spirit and a big victory for us. And I have to praise also the referee in such a difficult match. Super intense transitions up and down, huge intensity in the game. So also a big game also for the referees. So I think fantastic football match.
Jan, what was that match like to play in? Because the pace just never seemed to ease up at all.
No, it was a very, very difficult game for us. You know how good Wolves are. For me, we always talk about the top 6, but for me, it's a team that belongs very close. They're even in. You see, they do it now in Europe. They show it in the league every week. They're just a very, very good side. And okay, we were on a lot, but the Wolves was definitely at least as good as us. And 1-1, and then you don't know if you want to win or not. It's a difficult one. They attack, they defend. It's a bit in the middle, and then obviously lucky to get the win.
Sean, lucky to get the win, he says, but he looks exhausted there, Jan, didn't he? We saw the end of that game. It was a real end-to-end encounter. That one of those games that either team could have won. Yeah, that kind of sums up why he looks exhausted. Wolves gave it everything in that game, and they've carried on obviously from the way they played last season, and they're performing well again. But for Spurs and Mourinho to get a win there is a big result. Yeah, let's talk about you before the second half kicks off again. What are you up to right now? It's great to have you on the show. But you're not currently living in England, are you? No, I kind of follow the sun, don't I? Yeah, go on, tell us where you are. I live in Arizona at the minute. Nice. Just after I finished playing for Phoenix Rising, I just decided I'd stay there for a little bit and obviously do the work with Man City in the Legends Club, but from the American side. So it's been interesting. And your plans to get into coaching, management, media, what is the aim now? Just taking it step by step, to be honest. I do a bit of media and I do a little bit of coaching, but right now I'm just enjoying the downtime. Love that. OK. Looking at interesting scenes at the Emirates, Dave. Reasons for Arsenal to cheer. Gunnersaurus looks happy. Come on, mate. Let's get possibly the highlight, isn't it, for Arsenal?
Just stick Gunnersaurus in middle of midfield, tell him to just run about, tell him, it's bad.
Second half is moments away. We'll bring you if there's any changes. Dave, you are saying Ozil off, you said. Just for those joining us on the stream, just say what you'd like to happen right now.
Well, I think we need to try and get hold of the football a little bit, but it's not even get hold of the football. It's just we need to get closer to Manchester City. They've got such dangerous players, and they haven't really had to work. They've played well, don't get me wrong, but they haven't really had to work. Like they've been 3 very well taken goals. Yeah. But it's not like they're 3 well worked goals. You know what I mean? So and I think. As I said just before half time, this is probably the easiest 45 minutes Man City have had in a very, very long time. So.
Yeah, let's have a look at the match stats from the first half to see how they compare. Obviously, the one that matters for Man City is there are 3 goals to the lead, a couple of yellow cards for City as well. Attempts, Man City edge it 6-3 on target. Man City edge it 4-1. Arsenal with more corners. And are you surprised with the possession stat, Sean? Very quite close, considering Man City like to get on the ball. There's not been a lot in it possession-wise. Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I think Arsenal have always been good at keeping the ball normally anyway, so for it to be that close, no, it doesn't really surprise me that much. And we're looking for positives for Dave. They've had more corners, Arsenal. Trying to give you something to cling on to.
If we get one back, I'm trying to go with PMA, positive mental attitude, Smithy, right? So we get one back, maybe a few doubts will start to creep in, then make
and
everyone's happy.
Yeah. Well, let's get some questions in for Social Corner as well. Actually, we won't because we've just seen the scene. Sorry, Will, I love your questions. We will take some questions shortly. But the teams are out at the Emirates. Arsenal, Man City. Go on, give us a question quickly while we look at these. Our live pictures, of course, from the Emirates as we're about to get underway with the second half.
Yeah, we've had a lot of focus on the Arsenal 11, but Sean, obviously, just keep it plain sailing. I mean, if we get to 4 or 5, is that when he can look to bring the likes of Eric Garcia?
Product come out. So, fingers crossed Kevin De Bruyne scores another 2 and then we can see Eric. Sorry about that, Geese.
Sorry about that, Geese. And that man there on your picture has... Dave Jackson's got today. He is riveted. Love that, Sean. Anyone else ribbing Dave Jackson in the comments, Will?
Yeah, people are saying it's going to be another 8-2 like it was at Old Trafford. I'd 8-2 be an Arsenal fan. Someone just said it'll be 42-0. Arsenal 3, Manchester City 33. Just some of the comments that I'm getting and reading out there. So, what a time to be alive.
Any other questions before we kick off? We're moments away from kick off. In fact, it has just started the second half. Any other questions for Sean or for our guests?
Yeah, just looking at it there, has it been quite not a revelation, but Kevin De Bruyne playing as part of that front 3 as well? Does it just show how versatile he is?
Most City fans would know he can normally play across the midfield and he plays it really well, but the way he's playing playing today, obviously with Silva injured and Foden in there, joining in, linking up good players, it looks really, really good.
Sean, can we just carry on gambling here? I don't think we'll see an early goal the way that it's... But I just want to carry on from the questions that we had to you about your career at half-time. You just listed some of the players you played with for England and, of course, for City and Chelsea. Might be a tough one to answer this, but who was the most complete player that you played with in your career? Because some of the players you played with...
You say, including with England, I'd have to say Steven Gerrard.
Stevie G.
For me, without a doubt, he was one that...
So many players that we've had that have sat on that sofa have said just how good Stevie G was.
He was unbelievable.
Because he had everything to his game, or...?
Yeah, but he also helped his teammates.
Did he?
Like, yeah, sometimes you don't always play well or things just ain't going your way, but he was always there to pull you along. And if you run into places, he knows how to give you the ball. He knows, like, either to hit it in hard or just to caress it in. He just had it, everything you needed, basically.
And you said that he helped people as well. He's obviously now in management doing a good job. Can you see him becoming a successful manager and potentially one day becoming manager of Liverpool?
Yeah, I definitely can. If he's anything like he was as a player, he had the drive, he always had the winning mentality, and like he just wore the club and the country on his sleeve, and I think he would do the same thing as a manager.
Did he have those leadership qualities as a player, even from a young age? You could tell that he was a real leader.
I didn't get to meet him when he was that young, but at the times that I did meet him, yeah, he definitely had the leadership qualities.
Dave, can you see him? Steven Gerrard, Liverpool manager, Lampard v Gerrard one day. Liverpool v Chelsea. Can you see that?
I think you can't see Klopp going anywhere anytime soon, can you? But
no, fair point.
This is it, mate. It's the first one coming. You ready?
Yeah, go on. Stick with you.
Pepe.
Stick with Dave on this.
Back post. Go on.
Chance for Arsenal. Oh! Dave Jackson, stay standing. Talk us through first real chance for Arsenal this half, mate.
Yes, lovely work ball down Arsenal's right. We managed to work it quite well to get a ball in. Aubameyang throws everything he can at it. Half decent defending from Man City and half decent attempt from Arsenal. So positives. Adam Smith.
OK, big positive for Arsenal. And on that, we can give you a price boost, Dave, to cheer you up. Man City to win 6-0.
Why have you done this? What is going on?
It is now 14-1 with our friends at Sky Bet. 14-1 for Man City to win 6-0. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply.
Who's that?
Martinelli.
Martinelli has taken a bit of a knock to the ankle.
Been in the wars today, isn't he?
Yeah. What was that? 6-0 what?
6-0 price boost. Do you fancy it?
Maybe.
Yeah, 6-0 price boost. Interestingly, on that, Dave, this 6-0 theme, Man City put 6 goals past Arsenal 6 years ago yesterday.
Wow.
December the 14th, 2013, winning 6-3 at the Etihad. So the price boost 14-1 to win 6-0 today, and that was 12-1.
We're also in the 12th month. What's half of 12? 6.
There we go.
Wow. Everything's coming up.
It was 6 degrees when I left the house today as well.
Was it?
Yeah. And
my birthday's actually on the 6th of February.
Oh, there you go. And David,
just so clear, it's not 6-0. What's going on?
Not yet.
Wow.
Come on, Arsenal.
Spooky.
Just give me something. Come on,
Dave, you'd spoken about Arsenal's manager. We spoke about Ljungberg, who you'd like to see. You spoke about Pochettino. We mentioned Eddie Howe earlier.
No, what a pass.
When do you think the appointment will be made, though? Because we've seen managers
I'm really
that
hoping
and have had someone lined up. Watford did it. We've seen Spurs do it.
I'm
do
really
you think
hoping
Freddie will stay to the end of the season?
I kind of hope not. And it's not a slight on Freddie. It's just that is such a short-term fix. Like we can't keep going these short-term things. You know, we need someone who's going to come in and go, all right, this is how I'm going to rebuild this club in my image. Yeah. You know? So if it is Freddie Ljungberg, then that's not... Come on! Martinelli! Come on!
Great ball in.
OK, if that's his mistake, that's fine.
Arsenal with another half chance. Started the game, the second half, sorry, quite brightly. We are
This is it, mate. The comeback will be on in a second, mate.
Arsenal had 2 what I would describe as half chances, but it's still on the edge of the box. Dave, you must be pleased with the way that Arsenal have started, but Torreira is now down. Few injuries, holding his ankle.
Yeah, I'm over the moon, Smith.
Torreira with a chance. It is well over the bar.
Sean, what I wanted to ask you, obviously, because, I mean, I think we're about 10 points behind after this game, but how much will the Champions League shift to be the #1 priority for Pep, or do you think it always was this season?
No, what I get from Pep is he just takes every game as it comes, and I think he would want to win every game that he's playing against. So I don't think he really prioritises one trophy over another. I think he just wants to win as many games and trophies as he possibly can.
I think that's evident with how strong they play in like Carabao Cup, for instance.
Even the Community Shield, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. He just wants to win, doesn't he?
Dave, would you take him Community Shield next year in the trophy?
Well,
they've got to win.
Yeah, then we'll be FA Cup or like the champions.
Or finish second. Liverpool do both in the final.
But then they have to finish second.
Which, yes, I would definitely take the trophy.
It's been a hard day for you, mate.
Wayno, you've been very relaxed today.
I don't know. I don't really want to
give us your assessment.
Yeah,
you've been quite nice to Dave as well. I feel like if it was the other way around, Dave would have bantered you more.
I've got to deal with him for the rest of the week, so I can't say anything too bad. Yeah, he's technically my boss, so can't rib him too much. But if I'm going to the game, I'll be very professional here. Yeah. If I'm going to the game, I do think Arsenal set up all wrong.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to say this, like considering they're playing at home, but the way people have got at City this season is by defending really deep and then springing attacks. And I thought that was what they were going to do today. I know it's a negative way of playing at home, but it's evidently not.
Do you think that Arsenal have set up all wrong from the start?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't set up to play negative football.
Pass from Kevin De Bruyne.
But look at the space that these three attackers have now.
Chance for Man City over the bar.
Yeah.
And just what you were talking about, space that they've given Arsenal, Jesus.
It's what we've been bad at. The way we've conceded our goals is the way I think we're going to score goals in this game, by just springing a counter-attack and exploiting the ridiculous space. He has the whole pitch to himself there, Sterling.
Best vision in the Premier League for me, Kevin De Bruyne. The way he picks passes out.
What's going on here?
Look at the space. Ridiculous.
Man City once again. And the edge of the box. Kevin De Bruyne. Danger is cleared. Yeah, Man City have a very good record in this fixture. City have won the last 5 meetings in all competitions. Dave Jackson scoring 14 goals, Dave Jackson. City are unbeaten in the last 7 Premier League meetings, winning each of the last 4, Dave Jackson. City have also won on the last 3 visits to the Emirates in all competitions without conceding a single goal, Dave Jackson.
Yep. This is a little bit better, but you know what you're saying about how we've set up. When you can see after 2 minutes, I guess we'll never know how we were supposed to set up, because the moment you kind of give a goal away, you've got such dangerous players like to just hurt us. Is it a goal kick or a corner?
Goal kick.
Careful. Well, let's go to social corner again, seeing what people are saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm enjoying some of the statements rather than the questions, actually. So if any more statements or predictions that you want to read out, now's the time.
One from Alfred. He's actually doing a bit of role play in the comments. He says, "Hey, Arsenal fans, it's Arsene Wenger here. What have you done for me lately since I left you?"
Okay.
So, Dave?
Mate, I never once said Wenger out, mate. So.
You did. You told me in the toilet you wanted him out.
You need to be honest with me.
We will move on from that encounter as quickly as possible to the next question.
Would you rather have a big Arsenal January transfer signing or a big brand new manager?
Definitely a manager.
Ooh, good question.
Definitely a manager. I think a manager.
Hydra.
If we had a top-class manager, I think we could still qualify for the Champions League, either via the Europa League or potentially in the top 4.
Do you think the squad is good enough with a top manager to finish top 4?
You need someone who's going to come in and actually build a defence, and because I'm not actually worried about us going forward if we can start keeping them out the other end. It's the other end.
I've got to be honest, I know that we're bantering Dave, but actually Arsenal going forward, the options they've got a lot of goals in them going forward. I think they're only a couple of players away. I mean, Lacazette, Aubameyang. I mean, Ozil, for the fault that he gets, he still reads the game fantastically well. Martinelli looks good. There are a lot of reasons, and the young players that you've got, for Arsenal fans to be excited. But I just think, like you said, they need to sort out what they're doing with their manager.
What is this?
And they need to sort out this attack right now, because Kevin De Bruyne...
Go to him!
He's got to take it. He's got to
so
take
much
that
time.
shot.
About 7 seconds holding the ball there.
Ridiculous.
Wait, Man City had a few opportunities, but they're not as ruthless this half as they were in the first half. There's a couple of chances now.
I mean...
What's our centre-half doing up there on right wing? What's going on?
Sean, answer it quickly. He's getting angry.
Stupid.
I can't tell you, but
absolutely
stupid. Been defending. We know that much.
The main thing is Kevin De Bruyne has been the best player by a country mile. The amount of space they've given him, he just walked through the defence.
To be fair to Pepe, he Guendouzi was jogging back then, but Pepe, even though he's meant to be a right winger, was storming to try and catch Kevin De Bruyne. I feel a bit sorry for him, because he's as you were saying, he may not be performing or getting the goals, but he's trying so hard.
Oh, what are you doing?
Leno.
It's just, come on.
Going to go for your little walk around, Dave? when things get tough? You
Oh, wow, just bringing on Bernardo.
Bernardo Silva is coming on for Phil Foden. Sean, we spoke about Phil Foden earlier. He's had 55 minutes started the game. He's being applauded by the City fans in the away end. Thoughts on his performance today?
I thought he played magnificently. I thought he did well. He was involved in the start-up, build-up, or a lot of the build-up for the goals.
Yeah.
So come off with his head held high, and not a bad replacement either.
What's the replacement? If you're Arsenal now bringing this on, well, I mean, Bernardo Silva coming on.
Oh, man.
Sean, please, can you come back on again for another Arsenal Man City fixture?
We'll do it live from Phoenix. Let's just do it.
Kevin De Bruyne again. He is everywhere. I think that's going to go behind for a corner as well. It's a goal kick. OK. Bernardo Silva.
Why do you think he brought Bernardo on then and took Foden off?
Just a change. I think that there's no harm in it. He's played, like you said, he's still 19. He just played game. He played Champions League midweek as well. So
protecting him slightly.
Yeah, he's got, in a way, it's a good thing. As much as he's a kid, he's going to want to play all the time. Because I remember it, but you need a bit of guidance, and I think he's getting that. And it hasn't hurt him, as we can see when he plays.
19 years of age, 2 Premier League winners' medals in his cabinet. I mean, that is...
Yeah, they say, innit, if he obviously stays at City, by the time he's 24, 25, he could be the most decorated player in English history.
Incredible.
As long as Man City keep winning.
Yeah, of course, yeah, 15 caps under 21, yet to be capped for the senior England side. A lot of people have their say about Phil Foden, Sean, is that they think that if he did go out on loan, that he would get more game time, and that ultimately would be more beneficial for him with the national team, because he's not been capped for England. But do you look at it that when he's playing games fairly regularly, he's around top class players, why does he need to leave?
Yeah, I don't think he should. That should matter. If he's good enough, then he should be picked for the team. If you're saying he's good enough, then there's no reason not to pick him. That's what I think.
Yeah, agree with that? Completely agree. I think, especially while Pep's here as well, I could maybe, you could maybe convince me that going on loan is a better argument if a different manager was in charge. But who are you going to learn? And yes, maybe you're in every single training session that Pep Guardiola is putting on. Yeah. You're going to learn a lot more there than you would do. No disrespect to clubs, but than you would there, because arguably one of the best managers ever. Yeah. You're going to want to play under him. You're going to want to learn his secrets and find out what really.
I suppose the counter argument to that would be that it's game time, isn't it? He would get more game time if he went on loan somewhere else. But as you're saying, you think his fundamental learning, his development, will be better under Pep.
Yeah, we had kind of 3 players coming through at the same time that we all kind of were extremely excited about, and it's polar opposites really on how they performed. Both going well. Okay, they've both been sold, but. Brahim Diaz, who I haven't really seen much of around Madrid, moving to a big team, definitely bigger than Man City, and it hasn't really worked out that well. But that is his kind of club. But obviously Sancho, completely opposite. So
big substitute. Sorry to interrupt you, Wayno. Dave, big substitution. Yeah. Talk us through this and the reaction that we're hearing as well.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting booed, is it? It's not getting. Yeah,
it's a little bit booey.
So mixed reaction.
Mixed reaction.
Mesut Ozil is coming off, and Emile Smith-Rowe is coming on, and Mesut Ozil is kicking his gloves that he had on to keep himself warm into the air. He does not look happy with that substitution, and we saw. Can't categorically state if there was some booze. Nothing wrong with that for you.
Yeah, you'd be more concerned if he was a big smile if he's coming off.
Yeah, okay, it's a fair point.
Could just be unhappy with the gloves. Could be poor material.
And also, we can't categorically say if the boos were for Mesut, for Freddie, or they were just discontent with the substitution. But either way, Mesut not happy with that sub. As a fan,
it's an extra.
If you were in the stadium, what would you be surprised with this substitution? Do you think it's good to give Emile a run out? What are your thoughts?
If you look at who we've got to actually come on, I probably would have brought on Joe Willock. I think he's got more defensive mindset in him.
A few times.
But Smith-Rowe back from injury looked quite good on Thursday night. So this might be just. It sounds bad, but maybe it's just to give him a bit of experience against a top team.
Just big shots over Nicolas, of course, part of Pep Guardiola's backroom staff. Another man heavily linked with the Arsenal job. Former Arsenal player, someone that was the Arsenal fans liked in his playing day, and very highly tipped coach. Is he someone that you would be happy with as Arsenal manager, or is it hard to say?
It's a little bit with Eddie Howe. I think there's a better. I think there's stronger ready-made managers out there that we could go and get. I think he will become a top manager, but it's such a big job. This Arsenal one. It's almost like it's not fair on him to come now. We need someone who's got maybe 10 years experience managing.
Nearly got the job when Emery got it as well.
Yeah.
What's going on? Oh, well done well.
Well played, Carl Walker.
It's just Bernardo Silva with the ball now. Went for the cheeky little nutmeg. Went for another one.
That's it. That's better. Go on, Torreira. Go on, son.
That's
better. That's better. Yellow. Send him off.
Gundogan is in the book. Yellow card for Ilkay. Will, let's go to the social corner.
Yes, plenty of
15 minutes gone in this half. No goals yet.
Flying in thick and fast, get them in using the hashtag TFS at Football Daily, at Soccer AM. I'm looking at the stream now and I will ask the best ones. Gents, next weekend we've got a huge game in the Premier League. It's Manchester City versus Leicester. Do we think the winner of that is almost like the strongest contender to go on and challenge Liverpool, or will we have a top 3 when it comes to the end of the season?
I think there'll be a top 3 when it comes to the end of the season.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think like over the Christmas period, obviously that's middle of the way through it of a bunch of games. It's a tough part of the season.
Arsenal lost the ball. It's a 1-on-1 for City. Gabriel Jesus.
It's
Leno. He's so good, Leno.
He's had a good game.
I didn't expect him. Have a shot, Sterling.
Big save from Burnley. Leno. Terrible defensively for Arsenal. Jesus 1-on-1. Expect him to score from that position, but it was a good
Go on,
save.
Guendouzi, let's go.
And Arsenal straight down the other end. Guendouzi.
Put him in. Aubameyang for the middle.
Don't foul. We don't need another yellow card.
A yellow. Send this off as well. Send them all off.
Yellow card. Mendy for the pullback. That is a yellow card for Mendy. And should that have been 4?
It gets away from him a little bit, where he tries to open it up onto his left foot.
Yeah.
That's
Here it is, terribly defensive from Arsenal. Got a lot of time here, Sean, as well.
I don't feel like he needs to take it onto his left foot. I feel like he should have just stayed on the right.
Yeah.
And then got the shot off.
Look at Freddie Ljungberg's reaction. We are looking at scenes of him with his head in his hands after that pass back.
That is not the manager's fault that your defence does that. That's not a manager's fault.
Yeah.
No, great.
It's ridiculous. Sorry,
say it was.
I got a bit aggressive there, mate.
You'd expect Jesus to tuck that way. He's a man in form. Jesus scored his 3rd City hat-trick in Zagreb on Wednesday. 5 goals in his last 3 games, 55 and 121 for City, including 50 goals in 72 starts. Scored 9 goals in his last Premier League starts, 21 goals last season, best scoring campaign with the club. Scored in 26 Premier League games and not been on the losing side ever, winning 25 of those 26. He's a man in form. We expect that to go in the back of the net. Is it Pepe out? Why is it not in the back of the net, James?
It's just good keeping
yeah.
Leno. I mean, he has had a good game considering, to be fair. It's that brilliant save in the first half.
It's weird, because how bad he's had a great season.
No, I was jesting. It is a top player, top manager, and it's all going right for Man City, but Arsenal do have a corner. Come on, the Arsenal.
They're showing more heart now,
yeah.
to be fair to them.
He is going to be a top player, that Martinelli.
Yeah.
He looks good.
Come on, Pepe, give me someone out.
Lacazette's still on the bench as well.
Lacazette's still on the bench.
The system doesn't help him.
No, yeah.
3 goals in his last 3 appearances, 5 goals and 10 Premier League appearances this season. Will he be aggrieved not to be playing any part of this game so far?
I think
if you were Lacazette, Dave, you would be a bit gutted, wouldn't you, not played any part of this game so far?
No, Jesus. Can't give that.
There he is. I didn't let him get out of there.
Well done.
Well done, Arsenal.
This is better. It's encouraging, Adam.
That's how bad it's got, isn't it?
Come on, Will, let's go to you.
He's still down.
In social corner, while there is a break in play.
Yeah, a little break.
Injury to Jesus. Looks like he's going to be okay. He is down at the minute.
Well, we were speaking to Sean about it. The big game next week, obviously Man City, Leicester. But do we see anyone else entering the title race, or do we think it's between Leicester and Man City to really challenge Liverpool this season?
I think there's now the 4th looks quite open, doesn't it? I think the top 3 will probably remain the top 3, which Leicester fans would definitely have taken at the start of the season. But I mean, Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea. I think that's going to go to the wire. That for me.
What's your top 4 at the moment?
Let's give a free kick here.
Yeah, he went through.
Free kick, Manchester City, Edison with it. Top 4.
Yeah.
Sean, let's get your top 4 prediction. Season's finished. Final whistle's blown.
Of the season, I said Man City, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Okay.
Spurs.
And now, what are you saying?
I still have to stick with Man City.
Stick with it.
Yeah,
Stick with your predictions.
Man City, Liverpool.
That,
I think Chelsea will finish 4th.
Do you?
That's the
only
difference.
Spurs?
And I think Leicester has snuck up there, are doing well enough to hold their position.
Wayno, how do you see top 4 finishing?
I was stubborn last time you asked me this, even though we were losing to Wolves.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll stick with City. I don't know how we're going to do it. I mean, I'm being very unrealistic with this, but I want to say City, Liverpool, then I think probably Tottenham, then Leicester.
Do you think Spurs can finish third? Wow.
I don't know. I mocked it when Mourinho came in, but you forget how good he is, and it didn't end well at United, but it still started very well. So I think they'll push on from here and have a decent season. But I don't know. It's hard when you've got Chelsea. Yeah, they're going through a bit of a bad patch, but they have been fantastic. I won't say uncharacteristic, but you weren't really expecting them. You didn't know how they were going to perform with Lampard. So. Yeah, I'd probably say that.
OK. Sean, Leicester City, we've got to talk about Leicester. They've been fantastic under Brendan Rodgers as well, particularly Jamie Vardy, who, since Brendan Rodgers took over, no player in the Premier League scored more goals than Jamie Vardy. Do you think there's an over-reliance on him, though, that if he did get an injury, he's that crucial for Leicester? We're looking at the teams at the top who've got such big strength and depth. Do you fear for Leicester if one or two of their key players do get injured?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a thing to worry about. Like he's on fire at the minute. He's playing well. The way Brendan's playing, it suits him down to a T. Yeah. You can see he's benefiting from it. But for me, I've always thought Brendan could do a good job as a manager because he was at Chelsea in the reserves, and we always used to speak and stuff like that. And I said, "Haven't you ever thought about it?" And he said, "Yeah, but his time went right." And now
you said that you had that conversation with him back then.
Yeah, we used to have it. Yeah, because he always had a good knowledge of football and dealt with the reserves, and the way he spoke to people was always good. He always seemed to get the best out of some of these players, which at some point they couldn't get it out of him, but he seemed to do that, and he's gone to Spurs, and Jamie Vardy had a dip in his form before Brendan came in.
He did with Claude Puel. It didn't quite click with him under Claude Puel.
Yes,
Jamie Vardy,
exactly that. And then now Brendan's there, he seems to have found his feet again, and it's the Jamie Vardy we know of old times.
I was gutted when Jamie Vardy actually retired from England, because I thought, I understand it's tough for number 9 with Harry Kane there, because he's always going to start, but I always felt Jamie Vardy is such a massive option for England. If there's an injury off the bench, but then maybe some people say that's why he's performing so well, because there's less games. I don't know where you stand on it, but he's still a top player.
For me, I think it's too young for him to retire from the national team.
I
think for your country, I feel like you should always leave the door open. But at the same time, I still do understand him because at the end of the day, it's a position, isn't it? If Vardy's playing better at that time, then Vardy should stop.
I hear.
And that's just the way it should be. And if he sees it differently, then that may be his reason for retirement.
He's got such a cult England following as well.
Yeah, he has.
I remember the World Cup. There was just obviously everyone was having a great time, but as soon as he came on, everyone's got that little bit more excited.
Corner for City. Oh,
the thing is, if he was to come on, he always comes on, I'd imagine, when we're chasing a game, and that's not really his game, is it? It's like sort of almost playing on the counter-attack, getting them behind. So unless he's going to get started, I can sort of see why. But you can't go into a European Championship with the Premier League top scorer being an Englishman.
Sitting at home.
Yeah, sitting at home watching it on his Samsung 43-inch. Other TVs are available.
Very specific.
Very specific there.
I just bought one. Fantastic.
Let's take it back to the game. Looks like Riyad Mahrez is warming up. In fact, he's finished his warm-up. He's got his top off, so it looks like he will be on any minute. Who do you expect to come off, Wayno?
Probably Sterling. I mean, he's been quite quiet in this game, and in a sense, it would be good to protect him, keep him fresh for other games. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. Bernardo probably moves to the left, Riyad on the right.
As a City fan, we know that Man City fans love Raheem Sterling, love De Bruyne, David Silva. I feel like Mahrez is a player that is respected, but he's not one that all Man City fans rush to get his name on the back of his shirt. How do you stand with him? Because he's been good for Man City.
No, he has. And I was really frustrated with a lot of City fans in his first season. This is a player who, when he played for Leicester, was like the key man. A lot of the attack.
Player of the season, wasn't he? Of course, famous when they won the league.
It's very different going from a team where you're the main guy to part of a cog. A cog as a part of a team like City, and he had to completely change his style of play, completely change his attitude when, it's for a lot of a player like him. A lot of it's like instinct. He gets and he thinks because you can't plan the dribbles that he does. You can't plan the style of attacks that he does, and he had to change his whole mentality. And you've got to give him some time. City fans got on his back way too quickly. I think the miss penalty
at Liverpool.
really didn't
Liverpool.
help. And, he's a fantastic player, will be for City, and the more I see out of him, the more I enjoy it.
Confirmation of that substitution. Ilkay Gundogan off, Riyad Mahrez on. 20 minutes left, Dave. Can you see Arsenal? Is there a miracle on the horizon in this game?
Miracle on 34th Street?
I'd like to see them at least try and get a goal, you know what I mean? But I think City are actually playing really well now. They're completely controlling the game.
It's almost like the pace of the game has just slowed a little bit. City,
everyone.
I mean, it's all City at the minute. Just content with just seeing the game out. Although, as I said, they are on the attack. Jesus.
Oh, he's rolled
lovely bit of
him.
skill from Jesus.
2 players there.
Just I said, lovely bit of skill. The commentator's curse. He
got to
boots
go.
it out. Classic, just starting out there, wasn't he? Did a bad pass. Jesus just rolling his hit. You ever done that, Sean? Bad pass. First time just
Normally
out.
just look at the pitch, no.
A lot of comments coming in saying they're very excited to watch Arsenal Fan TV tonight.
Days.
Dave, will you be tuning in tonight? Will you be on it? Will you be going down to the Emirates?
Mate. No, I won't be watching that, mate. I won't be watching that.
Dave, we can give you another price boost on your screen right now. Kevin De Bruyne score a hat-trick. We gave you a price boost of Kevin De Bruyne score a brace. He has scored a brace. So KDB to score a hat-trick was 5-1. You can now get 13-2 on that with our friends at Sky Bet. Don't forget, you must be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. Please bet responsibly.
Handball.
Looking at the attempts of the match. Man City 10, Arsenal 5. Go on, Will.
Smith, we've known each other. We've worked together for a long time, but sadly, much like the Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, the streak is over. Dave Jackson will be losing a football social.
It was a good reference as well. I remember that Undertaker.
We can all remember where we were when the Undertaker, Sean, obviously lost to Brock Lesnar. So how can you forget, Sean? And we'll all remember where Dave was when the streak ended.
There is still 19 minutes plus injury time left. It is worth pointing out.
If Arsenal win this, I'll get a Dave Jackson tattoo right there.
Well, okay.
Ooh.
How about if they draw? How about as a draw?
That's why I said win, because
outside chance. Frau Socrates on Jesus. Jesus. A few kicks recently. Jesus hit his shoulder, his ankle, and it's a timely booking for Socrates because he misses the next game. Dave.
Sensible.
73rd minute confirmation of that. Socrates against a resurgent Everton. That is, looking at that game as well, Dave. Look at that a few months ago, and you fancy Arsenal maybe, but that's not an easy game now, Dave, is it?
There is no easy games in the Premier League, Adam Smith. That's the thing you need to realise.
That's a good
Any more cliches you're going to roll out?
That was a good response.
Game of 2 halves?
Yeah. There's still 20 minutes to go. Come on, Arsenal, let's go. Come on. Let's
Oh no.
That'll do.
There you go.
Oh, chance of
Bang!
Aubameyang.
First time!
Oh,
that's better.
Seen a great deal of Aubameyang. Snapshot, he's wearing the captain's armband, snapshot just wide.
Sean, did you enjoy, we got the festive period coming up, did you enjoy playing over like the Boxing Day and New Year's Day?
Yeah, it's obviously, like I said, it has its downside. You couldn't really eat Christmas dinner properly and things like that, and you miss the leftovers.
That's why I don't play for
Day.
Yeah.
So, like,
did you ever defy those? Now that you're retired, you can.
I get fully involved now.
Did you ever be involved? Yorkshire puddings the lot.
Everything, second helpings.
Did you ever have a sneaky one when you were playing? Sneaky turkey dinner?
Yeah, well, because at some teams you would train, you wouldn't go into a hotel until the evening, so you would train earlier in the morning, so you would start at like 7:30, 8ish, so you could get back to open presents, and then you would have a bit of it early, but you just couldn't enjoy it. You had to have like a half helpings of everything, so you're not too loaded up.
What's your favourite item on the Christmas dinner plate?
Good.
I love Yorkshire puddings.
Oh, great.
With the gravy on it.
See, Yorkshire pudding's not normally on everyone's plate.
I love Yorkshires.
It has to be on my plate, otherwise
Quickly,
I'll go.
do you have a Yorkshire on your plate, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Favourite item on the plate?
I think so. I'm not sure about Christmas, but I'd like them.
Dave? Smith, favourite item?
I totally agree, Yorkshire puddings.
Interesting.
Totally agree, and I go full Dave Jackson after Arsenal lose 3-0 if I don't have a Yorkshire pudding.
Do you?
Meltdown, yeah.
Go and make the Aunt Betty's yourself. What about you, Wayno?
Specifically Christmas, got to be pigs and blankets.
Oh, good shout.
Pigs and blankets.
Good shout.
Because you don't see
about
it, it's only for Christmas.
Can I just ask, why are they only for Christmas?
I
do not understand. It's one of life's great stuff.
It definitely ain't like that in America. You can just get anything.
But it's not a Christmas food. They sell them all year round. Why do people not eat them at Easter.
They're backing off too much.
Dave, just for you, why Arsenal are so bad? Why are they so bad?
Why are they so bad?
Sorry, no. Favourite pig? What's your favourite Christmas?
Pigs and blanket, Mike.
Pigs and blankets, yeah.
Might top it actually.
I think pigs and blankets for me. I am a big sprouts fan.
No.
Brussels.
Yeah.
Oh mate, get them off my plate.
Yeah,
I
I'm with you.
Brussels.
They're good, bit of protein in them.
No, Dave, not for me. Will, not for me.
I actually love them.
Release him!
You've had sprouts with bacon.
Yeah, a bit of pancetta upstairs. Great stuff. Sorry, there is a game on.
Get involved on the stream. What is your favourite item of dinner at Christmas Day?
Someone said a lamb roast, but I think they're just referring to this afternoon, which is fine.
Turkey for me.
It's really slowed down this game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a goose?
What's going on?
Oh dear.
Oh, come on. Thing is, they're
15
not,
minutes played,
it's
plus
not, it's
injury
not
time,
like
Dave,
they're
still
not
3-0.
like trying. They're trying.
Yeah, they just
they
can't
just get outplayed. That is a little bit more bearable for me. At least they're like trying. They're trying.
At least you've drawn the second half. That's what you say in Sunday League, wouldn't you? 0-0 second half.
Well, so far there might still be more goals to come.
Yes, isn't it?
Definitely been a quieter second half. We have Mahrez. Lovely little 1-2 with Kevin De Bruyne, makes the game look so easy. A lot of red shirts back there. That is a poor pass from Mahrez.
Smith, speaking of comeback, Sean, weren't you involved in the infamous? You were 3-0 down and then won 4-3, didn't you? What was said at half time there?
Got sent off, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it was more about that.
Yeah.
Because nobody could understand how he managed to get sent off on the way in to the changing room.
Oh right, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whistle had gone.
Right.
And some of us had run in, obviously, because we're like, it's 3-0 down here. Like, we need to get in and get
Don't need to be any worse.
stuff together, basically. But obviously, when he got sent off, we just said, there's chances here, and if we can nick one, like, you never know sort of thing.
John Mackham, wasn't it?
Wishful thinking.
It was Johnny Mackham.
And then it just kept going, and after that, we said, we can get another one here. And then obviously, it just carried on going, and then it happened again against Man United, and we lost that round, didn't we? We couldn't get it 2 times lucky, could we?
There you go, Dave. Bit of hope.
There is hope. There's always hope, Will.
All you need is John Mackham. Can't see him.
Come on.
Any more questions?
Yeah,
Will?
I mean, a lot of talk around just the managerial appointment or just what's right to do. I mean, we've spoke about it a lot during this stream. Emotions have ebbed and flowed, Dave, but. Does it go above that as well? Like, obviously, what's going on with like the structure of the board?
Oh,
and
there's
everything?
a lot wrong with Arsenal Football Club. I don't even know where to begin, to be honest with you, mate.
Let's start with point 1.
Point 1 is, I guess, we need a man.
What has gone on there?
No, wait.
Oh.
Why is that he kicked the ball?
It's for the best.
Ooh. Bit of contention there. The ref is smiling. Plays again with an Arsenal free kick. Interesting that. Go on, Dave. First bone of contention.
Well, I think
first thing you would sort out if you were Arsenal manager.
I think it is the manager, because we need to at least get playing better on the pitch. When you look at who we're going to appoint as manager, so I think it needs to be an experienced winner that can come in. Because if you look at players like Aubameyang, Lacazette, they're not going to commit to a manager who unless they actually believe in that manager, right? Which is why I think a manager like Arteta is probably not the right kind of
not
choice.
The right fit.
Yeah, I think it's a massive couple of years in Arsenal's history coming up.
Do you?
Now.
Next couple of years. And on that, Aubameyang, a lot of reports that obviously new contracts being discussed. Do you think he will remain?
I'm not saying he's old by any stretch of it, but he's early 30s, isn't it?
Yeah, he's never. I obviously don't want to jinx him, but he never ever gets injured. He's extremely fit.
And there's an injury at Arsenal. But are you worried when you hear some of the reports coming out that he's?
Yeah, of course. You know, he's one of our best players, and he's also the kind of player that could potentially attract the better quality players, whoever the management comes in, to actually rebuild the team around.
Yeah,
so,
11 goals in 16 Premier League appearances this season, including 3 in his last 3. Never scored against Man City, interestingly, though, in 4 games.
Sean, what I wanted to ask you as well, Gabriel Jesus, obviously, he's very much been built to be that successor to Aguero. What do you think he needs to add to his game to reach that level, which is obviously so high?
I just feel like for him to reach that, I feel like he's just got to add a bit more consistency in front of goal. Because if you look at Aguero's record at the beginning of the season, he had something like 10 shots on goal and 9 goals. Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so if he can add just that, and he has done, to be fair to him, every time he gets in there, apart from obviously the chance he had, he's been taking a lot of these chances when he's been playing, and he's been doing really, really well.
What about you, Wayne?
I mean, it's hard to really compare to a player like
Why did you
Sergio
foul
Aguero.
him? It's stupid. He's going absolutely not going backwards. It's stupid.
I mean, for me, like, yeah. I don't want to anger him anymore. I feel bad. No, you can't really replicate what Sergio Aguero has
the
done.
cutaway of Lacazette's face is a picture.
Oh, he's bringing on Willock, so it means Lacazette now officially can't come on.
Another substitution. Joe Willock's comes, brought Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka and Willock. Three players with a lot of promise, a lot of young players Arsenal fans are very excited about. However, there's a cutaway of Lacazette on the bench, goal scorer, a man that Arsenal fans are very excited about, scores goals whenever he plays with Aubameyang. Unused sub at 3-0 down. Dave Jackson, are you surprised that we haven't seen any of Lacazette today, and we won't?
I am actually surprised, because despite I think it was the right thing when we brought Ozil off, but with 10 minutes to go, we need to show a bit of promise for the next game now, and I think you're only going to do that with a top.
And they're out.
Oh, and a lot of Arsenal fans leaving.
Clearly agree with you.
Yeah. Clearly agree. They wanted to see Lacazette. We can't categorically say that because I haven't spoken to every single fan who's left the stadium, but they did look unhappy. As Lacazette did, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alexandre Lacazette have started 37 games together in all comps, scoring 43 goals. That's incredible. Aubameyang 26, Lacazette 17. So they've got a great relationship together. Are you surprised, Sean, that they haven't?
I would, if I was a manager, I'd just play them based off that stat.
Yeah.
You know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Great relationship together. Lacazette not playing a minute of today. Let us know what you think about that.
I was just saying, was there a player like a midfielder or a striker that you just sort of almost had like a telepathic relationship with, like when you played next to them?
Al Berkovic.
Al Berkovic.
I just knew he would always pass the ball in between the full-back and the centre-back, so I would just make my run blindside, and he was so good at one touch.
Yeah.
So basically, as soon as I give him the ball, just run. Just don't look. Yeah, just get on my bike, basically.
Al Berkovic.
Is that something you work on, Sean, in training, or is it sometimes with players you just naturally I see it with Maddison and Vardy now. You just know what's going on without having to work on it. There's just that relationship there from the off.
No, I feel like with some players the chemistry can happen like that. But then at the same time, I think it's something you build through training.
Right.
Like you talk to your teammates, you find out what they like, they find out how you like it. And if they can add something to your game that will benefit it, that normally happens as well, and so on.
Love it. Into the 82nd minute, it's still Arsenal 0, Man City 3, no goals in this half. The Emirates is emptying. A lot of empty seats, Dave.
Yeah.
A lot of fans are leaving, and the Man City fans are cheering every pass, of which there's been a lot in this sequence of play. That was a bit short, that one. Result, Man City. James Wayman, a very successful day for you so far as a Man City fan. You must be very pleased with what you've seen at the Emirates.
Yeah, I mean, last 10 minutes we've really shored up. I mean, I'm personally more glad I've got rid of my
Hoodoo.
record, my hoodoo. So we've reversed the hoodoo. So good luck with that for the rest of the season.
What do I need?
But no, I mean, we've shored up in the last 10 minutes. I think we've controlled the game more than we have. They look like they've lost it, to be fair.
And we see Man City score a lot of goals, but a clean sheet will be big
massive.
for Pep, won't
it's more, in a sense, the clean sheet is a little bit more important than the win. I know it sounds strange because we have been. That's our massive weakness at the back. So to get a clean sheet, to get a win is. Can only do good for the team, to be fair.
Yeah, you say going forward, Man City have been very good this year. They've already scored 67 goals in all comps. That was prior to today, including 44 in 16 Premier League games. That is 4 more Premier League goals than any other side. 169 goals in all comps last season was the most ever by an English top-flight side in a single season. As well as that, they've hit the woodwork 12 times in the Premier League this season, which is 5 more than any other side. They've also hit the woodwork again today. So going forward is not an issue for Man City at all, is it, Sean?
No, definitely not. And this game shows it, but I think in a lot of the other games, you've seen it as well. They're not short of chances. No. It's just a taking it part. I think we haven't I said at the beginning of the show, we haven't been that good at, but obviously stats say different.
Conceded 19 goals, which is 10 more than at this stage last season. Joint worst defensive record at this stage since 2009-10. But of course, worth pointing out, Man City have had a lot of injuries in that period. Mendy off, interestingly, Zinchenko comes on.
This is nice to see. It's nice for him to get back.
I always feel a bit worried for him because he's not naturally a left back, and
But he plays there a lot, doesn't he?
Well, he had to, and he performed really, really well there. But it's the fact that Mendy is back now, and we've brought in Angelino, so it's like.
What do you make of Angelino, Wayne?
We've seen glimpses of what I hoped he'd be, but I don't know, it's difficult. Like he did really well at PSV, like really, really well, and I think bringing him back, I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure because as I said, want him to do well. I think he has performed all right, but I don't see him as City quality just yet. Obviously going on loan has done him the world of good, but I think maybe a little bit longer. Just to see, he's not quite there.
Another very poor pass gives Man City the possession. Got to give it to Mahrez, surely. Mahrez is in. Good save from Leno.
Leno's played well, hasn't he?
But once again, Arsenal, their own downfall with misplaced pass again.
It's so. You know what the most frustrating thing is?
Go on,
is that
performance.
No, but it's more that this was a City team in such low confidence.
Yeah.
And we they haven't had to worry at all.
No.
They've come in, they've got a nice early goal, relaxed all their kind of fears.
Yeah.
And there's only ever been one team in this game.
Yeah, we're talking about misplaced passes, easy for me to say. And since the start of last season, Arsenal players have made 14 errors leading to Premier League goals. Only Southampton have made more with 15. So, like you were saying...
And again, that's not the manager's fault. The players, what are they doing?
They're misplacing passes to lead to goals. 14 exactly, only Southampton with more, Dave.
No, but it's like...
I mean, this is the stupid stuff. Like Socrates the other week against, was it Southampton? And he was just running towards the corner flag in his own box.
Yeah. Also considered the joint most penalties with Norwich this season, and 5 of which, and 12 penalties since the start of last season, which is the joint most with Brighton. So again, creator of their own downfall, a lot at the back for Arsenal. We are into the 86th minute, it's still 3-0, looking very bleak for the Gunners. Go on, Will.
Would you say this is your perfect Sunday, if you could finish it with maybe a roast and a Yorkshire?
Oh, perfect Sunday. Tottenham winning, Man United drawing, Arsenal losing. It's certainly not bad.
Yeah.
Certainly not bad at all.
Fantastic, that, isn't it? Dave?
I've had like better Sundays.
Finish it with a Yorkshire pudding, did you say?
Yeah.
That would make my Sunday perfect.
Oh, absolute treat that would be.
Let's get some questions, Will, quickly before we get into our allocated injury time, which we will find out any minute now in the 87th minute. What are people saying on the stream?
I mean, yeah, obviously the performance has died down, but people are just very excited for that Arsenal Fan TV this evening. Obviously it's been such a poor performance, but does this, gents, put City back, not just the result and the 3 points, but the man of that first half performance? Does this really would this frighten Liverpool a little bit?
I don't know if it'll frighten Liverpool, but I mean, it's not really about Liverpool at this stage. It's about getting us back to our kind of best and fixing our problems. That's the only way we're going to catch up to
What are they doing?
Is purely by us. So see KDB back performing as well as he has today, it's fantastic. That's awful.
Sean, when you won Premier Leagues and you're involved in title races, how much are you watching the team that are neck and neck with you and you paying attention to the results? Because so many players say, we just focus on ourselves, we're not, they make out that it is all about your performance on the pitch, which I completely understand. But when it's getting down to the last few games and it's neck and neck, you must be having a close eye on what's going on elsewhere.
It's like he said, though, you kind of just have to, and I think players will tell you the same now, as much as you say you look at the other team, it doesn't make a difference if you don't get your result.
Right.
So as long as you're winning, then it's okay. But if you're looking at the other team and you're not picking up points, then they're just getting further away, aren't they? So I feel like it's a bit of both, really.
Because certainly as fans, I mean, Wayne, you must have the famous Man United, Man City moments, and I mean, so many title races have gone down to the wire, particularly as a City fan, the famous Aguero goal, of course.
I mean, the way we won it since Pep, I think the mentality's changed. I think there's. I think a lot of our fans feel like we're going to win it from the start of the season, and it's a bit of a dangerous mentality to have, because when we're not winning and when we're not, we're not winning every single game, we get a draw and people are disappointed, and
because of the benchmark that Pepe set.
It's
we tried it,
Smith's done
played well. Yeah,
Smith Rowe's done well.
Even Saka as a left back's played well.
They've done well.
Yeah, you just don't want to get yourself into a state where you're just, why can't we be like Liverpool? Just keep yourself to yourself. Just perform your way and hope for the best, really.
Oh, to be in a title chase.
Could always be a Blues fan.
David, a lot of empty seats. A lot of Arsenal fans have gone home early.
Yeah. Piccadilly line shot to bits, mate.
Play him in,
Man City on the attack again, coming into Arsenal's half. What a ball that is from Kevin De Bruyne.
Go on, Ryan.
Sterling. Oh, narrowly wide to make it 4-0.
Needed that.
Another great pass, Sean. It's at this time we always ask our guests for a man of the match. Is it a no-brainer for you with KDB or anyone else that you can see taking it from him?
I wouldn't say it's a no-brainer because I think there's been a lot of good performances on the pitch, but I think like with the fact that he got his 2 goals and the assist, I think he's the right man to give it to.
Yeah.
Wayno?
Yeah.
KDB for you, man of the match?
100%. Good to see him back. The last season, having him injured, we've missed this kind of performance from him.
So we're in the first minute of injury time. 3 minutes has been allocated for injury. Arsenal losing possession and win the free kick. Let's just take our final comments on the stream. What people are saying.
Can I say something? So this is the thing that Ozil brings as well, right? As much as like we look kind of, I guess, less secure when Ozil's on. We haven't created anything since he's gone off. So as much as like probably he basically has to start. And then we have to just defend.
Because he can create something out of nothing a little bit.
Well, at least like kind of like something, it's not great.
I find the Ozil comparison similar to Eriksen actually, in that technically, in terms of reading a pass, they're probably respectively 2 of the most creative players for Tottenham and Arsenal. However, they often don't play because I think both managers, I don't know, but I haven't spoken to them about that, but I think they feel for the team not tracking back, and when you're playing against good teams, they'll potentially go with other players. Their work rate is certainly more, but I agree with what Dave's saying there. As an opposition fan, when Mesut Ozil plays and he's standing over a free kick or he's got space, he's technically a very good player. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, he's a player that you don't want to lose. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, but there's a lot of Arsenal fans that don't want him to go.
Come on. It's just when the comeback starts, Smith. Come on.
Will, I'll let you describe what happened. It was an absolute metaphor for Arsenal's performance for the last 3 years. Perfect ball played into Martinelli. Falls over on his bum.
It only needed the
slips away
music on it, which I'm told we can add in the edit later on, Dave.
Unbelievable scene.
92nd minute, so it looks like it is going to end 3-0 unless Man City can score very late here. We're into the
Can't
last
believe the streak's over.
minute. Interesting to see how the fans react when the final whistle goes.
Surely
right has broken the Dave Jackson curse. Sean, can you come back on every week, please? Is that possible?
Dawn, I'm fed up.
You what?
Dawn, I'm fed up.
This one-touch passing from Man City. 30 seconds left. Final comments from you, Dave. Go on and read some of them out. What are people saying on the stream?
From Dave or from me?
From you.
From me. Again, just that they need fresh players, fresh manager. Pepe's very average, was not worth £72 million. Arsenal need Brendan Rodgers. Pepe is so average. A lot of feeling that Pepe's a bit of a scapegoat here.
I think that's a bit harsh.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
There is the full-time whistle. It is all 3 points for Man City. And listen to the boos ringing around the Emirates. These are the full-time scenes. Pep Guardiola going over to shake Freddie Ljungberg's hands, who is smiling, but he will not be smiling with that performance.
What cheekbones, by the way?
Ljungberg's cheekbones. Cheekbones. You having his cheekbones? Okay. 2 goals from Kevin De Bruyne and a goal from Raheem Sterling. They are still talking, Freddie Ljungberg and Pep Guardiola.
Driving home for Christmas.
Driving home for Christmas. He's playing around the Emirates. Disappointing day for Arsenal. Dave, as an Arsenal fan, will let you have the first word from the final whistle.
Most of the fans are already home.
What do you...
It's going to be a tough Christmas patch, I think. Without him, it'd have been even worse. Without kind of Burnley, it's like there's not many positives. But that is the beauty of the Christmas period. Games come thick and fast.
They do.
We'll get back on top in no time.
A lot of cliches from Dave. Slight worry for Man City. Raheem Sterling just on the floor.
Good.
Limping slightly.
Dave.
There's no like in a game for a while, mate.
Didn't see what happened, but he just went to the floor. Bit of cramp, you think, John? Is that something you don't admit as a player, do you? During a game going down with cramp, it's...
I've seen people get taken off for it.
Have you?
Yeah.
And you go in the dressing room,
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
I'd find a way to get around it, but I would refuse to come off it.
Yeah. And that man there, Sean Phillips, says man of the match for him. Wayno agrees, KDB, fantastic performance. all 3 points. Man City, let's go back to the stream. What are people saying?
Just looking at Arsenal's upcoming fixtures, they've got Everton away, obviously resurgent, Bournemouth resurgent as well. Then they've got Chelsea at home and Manchester United at home in their next 4 games.
Happy Christmas, Dave.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be a happy Christmas. We're at 12 points.
12 points?
From 4 games. From now to the end of the season.
Tough fixtures for Arsenal. Just look at the Man City players going over to embrace the away end. KDB, Bernardo Silva, just so much talent in that team, but all 3 points going to Manchester City. Let's have a look at what that means for the Premier League table. That is, of course, matches finished and Man City 3rd place in the Premier League, 35 points from 17, but still a huge gap to Liverpool. Liverpool have a 10-point lead over Leicester in top. Tottenham go up to 5th, just 3 points behind Chelsea. And interestingly, Tottenham do play Chelsea at home. Jose Mourinho against one of his former clubs, of course. Arsenal into 9th. Crystal Palace, of course, is that game in hand. They play Monday Night Football in that derby match against Brighton. Looking forward to that one. The bottom is Watford, Norwich and Southampton make up the bottom 3. Aston Villa just outside the relegation zones. Dave,
so much.
Second worst position for Arsenal at this stage of the season.
Oh, wow. But, you know,
in the Premier League.
Wow. The only way is up. You know what I mean? It's like, you know...
No, you could go down.
No. But this is part of being a fan, isn't it? You know, you can't just start, you know, saying all of the negative. There was a few positives.
Go on, give us some positives.
I thought Saka, despite the fact he's going to be a very good forward player, he did okay at left back. That's the thing. He had to play left back. It's stupid. I don't really know where to begin, Smith, mate. There's a lot. There is a lot wrong. There is a lot wrong. I think if you look at that defence, all 3 of City's goals, they were preventable. It's not like they were worldies. They were very good finishers. So it's take nothing away from the Man City attackers there, but with a better setup, they were definitely avoidable.
Preventable.
Yeah, they were preventable. Yeah. And I think that's the very worrying thing, because, as I said, like already in the stream, it's like, you know, this was a City team that weren't full of confidence. This isn't the City. As much as they are champions, this wasn't the City of last season that kind of came into this game. We're at home. If we could have taken the game to City, you know, maybe we take the actual lead, and then that exposed some of the issues that City have had from the beginning of the season. You know, where they had to chase the game, where then we could have exposed them with our kind of pace. And it was all undone after, was it, 90 seconds?
Yeah, very early first goal. We're speaking about the Christmas fixtures, which are coming thick and fast. Also on the horizon, the January transfer window. How do you think that the appointment, if you do make an appointment or if you stick with Freddie, will affect what you do in January? Because presumably, if you haven't got a full-time manager in place, are they going to give Freddie the funds to spend if he's only a short-term gap? Is that a concern for us?
I think it's more important that we bring a manager than any player.
Do you think that'll happen before January, though?
I hope that they're working on it now. Like the thing I was thinking 50 minutes into the actual West Ham game was like, it's so evident here that there isn't an actual plan here that we have. You know, Freddie is a very short-term fix, and that's all it's ever going to be, right? You know, the beauty of having a director of football, whatever it is that they bring in players for the team rather than a particular manager. So there's no way that they're going to give money to a short-term manager.
And he is just, you said short-term fix there. No, I know he's an Arsenal legend, loved him as a player, but no chance for you of him getting the job full-time.
I think it would be unfair on him to put him in that position anyway. You know,
because surely he'd want it. It's a dream job.
But I don't think that ends well with Freddie Ljungberg as the permanent Arsenal manager. So I think it's more important that we look at who is going to be available, or potentially who we can go and get from another club. But whoever it is, it's so important we get this manager, the manager that comes in. It's so important we get that right this time. And you know, maybe it is someone, you know, like a Brendan. Will Brendan Rodgers come now? Definitely not. He's just signed a new deal. But someone in that mould, you know, which I wouldn't have said post Wenger. My expectations was someone, you know, maybe it kind of was like the tier of like a Pep, not Pep Guardiola obviously, but and now we're looking at someone that's going to come in and kind of bring their own culture, bring their own kind of like philosophy, and then just accept this season. It's not going. It's going to be a transition season.
You accept that as a fan now. It's a transitional season. I'm not saying you write it off because you're still in domestic competition. Of course, I think you almost feel like you have an acceptance now because of the manager change.
I think for the long-term future, that's maybe a better kind of way of looking at it. Because if we keep going short term to short term, maybe win a few games. it's not actually sustainable.
Yeah.
So I think it's more important we get a good manager. A manager is going to be in there for the long term. Well, long term in like the modern game anyway. Maybe someone's going to be there for 5 years, going to come in and go, look at the youth players that we've got coming through, going, okay, I can build something here. I think that's much more important than maybe giving Freddie 60, 70 million to try and rescue the season. It's like, okay, this season's not going to be what it panned out. We're still in Europa League, so we still get in Champions League football. It's going to be tough, don't get me wrong, but I think it's much more intelligent if we bring someone in who's got a vision and is going to build for maybe the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Good chat, Dave. Enjoyed that. One thing we can't fault, although we've him, very passionate Arsenal fan, cannot fault your love for the club. A bad day for Dave, of course, but a good day for James and for Sean Wright Phillips. Good day for Man City. Let's hear from a few of their stars now, Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne.
Guys, well played, Kevin. I don't think much doubt about who the man of the match was today. Absolutely brilliant from you, but do you think actually very good from the whole team today?
Yeah, I think so. I think besides the first 5 minutes, we had to settle in, but I think the first few chances we had, we scored out of them. Then after, I think the second half, the first 20 minutes was a little bit sloppy, but I think the last 25 was really good. We kept the ball, had a few extra chances where we could score that, but I think to come in and win 3-0 and keep a clean sheet is good for us.
Phil, you actually arrived at the interview room a little bit earlier than Kevin. Do you want to tell him some of the nice things you've been saying?
Yeah, I think your shooting's a joke, mate, to be honest. Yeah, when you've got a guy like this playing, anything can happen, and the amount of chances he creates and scores as well. It's just a pleasure to play with him, and yeah, it's just good to get the 3 points today, and all the lads are very happy.
It just sort of underlines, I suppose, that you couldn't be in a better place to learn, could you?
No, definitely not.
Kevin, then talk us through that first strike, because there's been a number of ex-pros, since in the last hour and a half talking about it. Unbelievable technique. How did you do it?
Well, the ball came with a bounce, and I tried to keep composed and don't lean too much backwards, because I think the most difficulty with a ball is keep it as low as possible, and it was just low enough to put it under the bar.
And second one with your left foot, are you using, I think it's Callum Chambers, you sort of set it round him?
Yeah, I think the second goal and the shoot afterwards is a little bit similar, but I think because the keeper don't really sees the ball because it's that low, it just goes a little bit away. I think it gives him less reaction time with the second goal.
And you must have thought just before half time it was hat-trick time. And it would have been the first one since Genk, I think.
Yeah, it would have been a long time ago. But it's okay, it would have been nice, but in the end, to score 2 goals here and to come away with a good win after the struggles we had a little bit is really important. And some other teams lost points, so it's good to come back with a win.
Phil, we spoke before the game, and you were honest enough to say first Premier League start of the season. It was a big day for you. How do you think you did?
Yeah, I thought I'd done all right. I thought the team did very well together. Like Kev said, we had a sloppy start to the second half, but I thought we reacted to that well and started playing our football again, so overall very happy.
Did you have half an idea you wouldn't see the whole 90 minutes through, having played in midweek as well?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. I don't think I've done that for a long time, so I think the manager's seen my legs go a bit, so yeah, it was all just that really.
Kevin, last question, as something you sort of touched on already, was today, at least in part, about a reaction after the derby?
Well, I think every time you lose a game, the only reaction you can show is try to win the next one. Obviously, if you lose 2 in a row, it's a little bit more difficult. But I think even this year we lost some points. Every time we lost points, we come back with a good reaction. So it means mentally we're all right. We know we've not been at our best this year, but we keep on fighting, trying to do what we do. The season is still long. We have still 2 cups, Champions League. So there's still a lot of games to play for us.
Well done, Phil. You ready for your duties? Yeah. Premier League man of the match, of course.
Well deserved, mate.
Thank you very much.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks.
Great interview, that. Really enjoyed it. Patrick Davison, of course, with the questions. Sean, does that just show, I really could watch that, how honest they are, just the standards that they set when they're saying didn't start great in the second half, it's not been the perfect season. It's such a good performance, but does that almost illustrate the benchmark that's been set at Man City under Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, definitely. I think you can see from obviously the players in the interview that Pep's just installed a winning mentality and to always play and perform at the highest levels. And I think if he can keep that going all the way through, I don't ever see there being a problem at Man City. But like KDB said, they know they haven't been at the best this season, but they're still not giving up the fight. So to hear that shows to the fans and obviously the players that they still believe that there may be a possible chance of a way back in.
And the other thing you want to pick up on there, the team spirit, when they were talking about Phil talking about Kevin before, and it's great to see, isn't it? Phil, you can clearly see he's got a very mature head on his shoulders. Still only 19 years of age, Phil Foden.
Yeah, he's had to grow up really quickly. He obviously got thrown into it with Man City, and being around players like that and being put in positions he had to mature quickly, and he matured perfectly and well, and you can see the way he speaks and the way he plays that he's doing the right things at the right time.
And just quickly before we leave all of our viewers, where do you see Man City at the end of this season? Do you see them lifting silverware, looking at the Premier League, Champions League, domestic trophies? How do you see the season ending with your Man City hat on?
With my Man City hat on, I'm going to say, I hope we win everything again. But obviously, it's a hard ask. Liverpool are outstanding at the minute, and as long as we keep winning, we're still waiting for them to do a mistake. So right now, just keep playing every game and doing what they did today, basically winning every game and see where it takes us.
Yeah, big win for Manchester City. Just a reminder that we will be back next week, of course. The next Football Social, big game this, Tottenham against Chelsea, 4 o'clock, Soccer and Football Daily's YouTube channel. We'll be joined by another former Premier League striker. Have to wait and see who that is, Dave. But it's another big game in the battle for top 4. Big thanks to Dave. Brilliant, always good to have you on. Very honest, opinionated, passionate Arsenal fan, and a great bloke as well. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers,
James Wayne, very happy. I like to say he didn't rub it in too much with Dave as well, because he's your boss. That's respectful. Off air, I think that might change. Great to have you on the show. Will Brazier, always a pleasure. Great in Social Corner. A round of applause, of course, former Premier League winner, Jordan Wright for it. And we will leave you with our best bits. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Oh, this is good.
Arsenal box, De Bruyne!
Yes! A goal! Yes! 1-0 Man City! A minute on the clock, Kevin De Bruyne!
Right, for me, it was brilliant, because I hate running. Pre-season is the worst of football.
Martinelli is the future. £6.5 million, absolute bargain.
Another chance for Sean Nervous first minute for Man City.
Yo! Time.
Hit it left foot!
Hey! Oh! There's chances here, Smithy, I'm telling you.
For you every day of the week.
How can you look across the line, Smithy? This is stupid.
There's a chance for Man City. Go on.
Yeah!
2-0 Man City, big goal. Raheem Sterling, Sean Wright Phillips, talk to us.
Sure, can't believe it.
It's the combination. It's the way it's KDB to Sterling.
Have a look at Ozil's boots there, champagne Preds.
Yeah?
An absolute turn back. Sean, I remember you in the F50s, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic vintage.
Knowledge there.
Ishmael says Sunday League players can defend better than Arsenal, a comment and a sentiment that I think we can all get on board with there.
Don't give a penalty. Look,
Big moment in the game. Arsenal players appealing for a penalty.
If that's a penalty, I'll get Sean Wright Phillips tattooed on my inner thigh.
Would you actually?
Oh, that's on camera.
Huh? Never thought.
Please make it a penalty.
Yeah, I never thought I'd want to. KDB with a chance. Oh, what a goal! Surely that is goal of the day so far. What a strike! I missed that. What was the last comment?
Yeah, that was Morgan Rutherford saying Spurs are way better than Arsenal now. That Spurs are way better than Arsenal now.
Can't argue with that.
Dave?
Mate, I never once said Wenger out. So.
You did. You told me in the toilet you wanted him out.
Talk us through this and the reaction that we're hearing as well.
Yeah, it's not like he's getting booed, is it? It's not getting... Yeah?
It's a little bit booey.
Second worst position for Arsenal at this stage of the season.
Oh, wow. But,
in the Premier League.
Wow.
It's the only way it's up. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
No, you could go down.
No.